All right, here we go. Aries Spears.
Yeah, what's happening?
It's been a couple years.
Has it?
It's been about 2.
All right.
Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back. Glad to have you back.
Thank you, sir.
You've been kicking up dust since last time?
A little bit. I kind of feel like we should address the elephant in the room. Because I remember last time we spoke, like I don't do these as often as Godfrey or as often as some people might like. And you know, that's for certain reasons, but that's neither here nor there. But I remember I was talking to you and I was like, I had a bone to pick with you, man. And that's probably the reason why I stayed away for so long. It was like this, man, because you know, I had started doing my podcast now and I wanted to promote it. And I remember, I think once upon a time ago, I asked you, hey man, can you, on a lot of these videos, like put up something that says, hey, go to here, or this is my Twitter, or this is my Instagram. And you, long story short, basically told me that you wouldn't do that. So I kind of looked at it like, well, wait a minute now. I thought one hand would wash the other. I come, we do a great interview. You help me promote. So I was kind of like, you know what, man, I'm cool on Vlad for a minute.
Okay.
But then when you asked me to do this again, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But maybe this time I'll approach it where it's like, is it okay if like right at the top, I mention my podcast or just, because, you know, with the numbers that this thing gets, especially if it's a good interview, why wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, I can answer that question for you. We don't actually put anything on screen, and I don't remember having that conversation with you.
Right.
Not to say that I didn't have the conversation, but we're talking about, what, a two-year-old conversation at this point?
Yeah.
What we usually do is when people ask us to do this, instead of putting it on screen, we actually put a link in the write-up.
Right.
And I usually say yes to that all the time.
Right.
So maybe for whatever reason.
I just felt like sometimes it's more effective, especially because here's the thing, and I'm looking at it from a stand-up comedy standpoint. Like when you go on stage and you murder, after murdering, you got them. The audience is yours. You could go, hey man, I'm selling doo-doo on the floor, and they're buying it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you got them. You sold it. So my whole thing was, if we ever did an interview and the interview's a good interview, people are listening, they're loving it, boom, they hear me verbally go, so-and-so and so-and-so, it's almost like an extension of it, where it's like, dude, I like this nigga. He got a podcast. Where do I get it?
All right.
So, you know, if I could.
Well, we'll include this part in the
Okay.
video. We're not going to cut it out. We're not going
Please.
to cut it out. Everyone check out the Spears and Steinberg podcast.
It's available through iTunes, Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, or go to spearsburg.com. Or more importantly, DM me in my Instagram, and I will personally send you the link.
There you go.
you.
There you go. It's a great podcast. I've actually been listening to it for the last couple of days. And I actually listened to it on Spotify.
Okay.
But all these clips will actually have a link to this podcast.
Excellent.
So when they go to the YouTube video, it'll be right there.
Excellent.
They can click on it and it'll launch straight into
You know,
well, whatever the biggest platform is.
Thank you.
And if you felt slighted by me saying that last time, you know, by not giving you the answer you wanted last time, I apologize for that.
Well, it's all good, brother, because you really got a bone to pick with me, because we were supposed to do this about the last time, and I kind of, not that I purposely blew you off, but I was dealing with a lot of shit, so I just wasn't, I didn't communicate probably as best I should have. But nonetheless, here we are. It's all good, baby.
Here we are. We're even.
We're even now. There we go.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it. And we can't really start an interview without talking about what's happening in the world right now, which is the coronavirus.
Right.
Something that no living person has ever experienced before.
Right.
The last thing that happened that was similar, I think, was called the Spanish flu back in 1918. And that lasted about 18 months altogether. But we're in a state where the whole world is essentially shut down. All the stores are closed. All the cruise ships are docked. All the shows are not happening. All the tours have been canceled. Every sport is no longer playing. All the restaurants are only doing takeout. Every non-essential business is closed. People aren't working. The unemployment rate is at 3.2 million already. And yeah, man, people are messed up right now.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely impacted my financial bottom line.
I bet.
Because
you make most of your money by doing stand-up, right?
Yeah. You know, it's weird, man. I said on my podcast, that I'm bringing it up again, but I said this feels like 9/11 again. And by 9/11, I mean just this is world changing. This is where will you win? This is historical. Like this is a moment in time where 9/11 and like 9/11, like 9/11, everybody's like, man, this looks like some shit out of a movie. Planes hitting the towers, people jumping out the towers, anarchy, buildings coming down, flames, ashes. This feels like a movie. Like whether it's Contagious or Outbreak, this is some movie shit. Like you just said, the world shutting down, ain't shit moving, lives are being changed, people are walking around with these gloves and masks, and it's surreal, man. And I think numbers-wise, in terms of deaths, this actually is more now than 9/11.
Oh, way more.
Yeah,
9/11 was 2 buildings.
Yeah, so this is epic proportions, man. And incidentally, to the people wearing the gloves, and I sent a post out on Instagram. And it was funny because before I actually read this, the only 2 places I've gone since quarantine has been either the grocery store or my little local liquor store down the block. And I kept noticing the clerk with the gloves on. And my spider sense started tingling. And I'm just going, that seems like a bad idea. Because whatever you're touching is on them gloves. And if you're working as a store clerk, you touching money, hand to hand, you moving shelves, stocking product. So, and then I eventually read the actual medical quote, and I don't want to paraphrase because I'll fuck it up. But basically, long story short, it's worse wearing the gloves than not.
I read the same thing.
Right.
I actually read the same thing. You're better off just washing.
So stop wearing the fucking gloves.
But I heard the masks are actually more effective than that.
No, the masks are great.
Yeah.
Of course, the bottom line was wash your hands, sanitizer, but stop wearing the fucking gloves. It's a bad idea. If you look in the grocery store, everybody's rolling the cart. Everybody's touching the produce. Nah, I don't want this. Nah, that ain't ready. The box, nah, I'm not sure about that. So that shit is spreading, man. You know what I mean? So the gloves, it's a bad idea.
Now we're getting to the point where people that I personally know are coming down with it. So the first person, there's an actor named Dennis White. He had a role in the Biggie movie. But then Scarface.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And for everyone that says, like the Cardi B's of the world that think the celebrities are being paid to create this fake coronavirus thing and so forth, like Scarface is really fucked up. He had kidney failure in the hospital right now.
Right.
He's not getting a check for this.
I actually spoke to Willie D yesterday.
Yeah, that's my man.
Yeah, we kind of did this for his YouTube thing.
Yeah.
The older I get and the further I get into this life, I'm really seeing people are stupid.
Yeah.
The majority of human beings are fucking idiots.
Right.
Some people are destined for minimum wage. Like it's their destiny. They're fucking dumb.
Right. The big thing that's happening right now is that when me and Freeway Ricky did our interview, we talked about how stupid of a statement it was when Carrie Hilson said that 5G internet is what's causing the coronavirus. She claimed that 5G cell service was causing the virus. And you're going to get all these crazy conspiracy theories.
Misinformation.
Yeah.
Which is...
I can't imagine cell phones somehow causing a virus. Like that doesn't even make any type of... I mean, the science classes I took through high school will let me know that is completely impossible. But here you have someone who has platinum records is out there spreading this type of misinformation.
Well, just because people can sing and dance and shoot basketballs don't make them smart or intelligent. Right. As we can see with our president.
And then I brought it up with Lord Jamar, and he's actually defending her. And he's like, well, you don't know what's causing by these waves. And I went on the internet and I said, hey, man, I went on Twitter. I said, listen, I want to apologize to everyone that says that, for saying that 5G doesn't cause the coronavirus. I actually have a new shipment of tinfoil hats mined from the Unicorn Mountains of North Korea.
Right.
That will absolutely stop coronavirus.
And I'm sure some people bought it or wanted to buy it.
Well, it's for sale for $1,000, Bitcoin only.
Right.
I don't want. I don't want the taxes to pay any taxes on it. So
Right.
Bitcoin only. You could have your own tinfoil helmet that will absolutely stop coronavirus. And then my DMs were flooded with these like news things about how there's a 5G tower on fire because the guy knows the truth and installed it and all this BS.
Are you into conspiracy theories?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm not.
I do believe some things are capable and some things have been done.
Right.
Because I wouldn't put anything past a government, particularly this government.
Yeah.
Because we know historically this government has done some foul shit and used black folks as guinea pigs.
Yeah, the Tuskegee experiment.
So I wouldn't put anything past the government. But I don't think everything is a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jamar were talking about this on the phone.
God bless him.
And that's my man and all, but
God bless that brother.
We do not. On certain things, we are totally opposite. So I said, Jamar, so you mean to tell me that all the governments in the world are letting their people die, spending trillions in healthcare costs, and having their economies crash so these cell phone companies can make some extra money? And he's like, no, it's not about the cell phone companies making extra money. It's about having one world government. This is like the first traces of that. That's where it's really going. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not privy to those type of talks. Like,
I'm not.
The last white meeting I went to, we didn't cover that, unfortunately. So
listen, I'm not as up on all that shit as some people are, and I'm not as intricate and deep in it. But like I said, I would never rule everything out. Because again, the history of this government and this country has proven. But some of that shit is too far-fetched for me. It's a little too far-fetched for me.
Right. And how would anyone actually know this? How would anyone who's not at the very, very top of the totem pole really know about this?
Right.
I mean, seriously.
Right.
We're not here with the billionaires having those types of talks. We're not. If it was happening, we'll never know about it.
Right.
So fuck it. Let's just live our lives and.
Yeah, listen. This is fucked up, and I'm not trying to make light of any of it, and I know it's to be taken seriously, but I just refuse. I'm not gonna live my life by panic. One of my favorite quotes, I think it was from Johnny Cochran. The only thing you have during a crisis is your conduct during it. So that's not to say that I'm trying to walk around reckless. But, I'm not wearing gloves. I'm not fucking, buying tinfoil hats. I'm not overdoing it. I'm just washing my hands, sanitizer. If you believe in God, say a couple of Hail Marys. If you don't, cross your fingers,
Yeah, I mean, I have a staff of around a dozen people. We haven't had any layoffs.
Right.
All my, full-time employees have full health insurance from the company. No one's had their salaries docked or their hours docked or whatever else. And we told them that as long as things could stay at this level, I can maintain that. And for me, I kind of feel like the way that you treat your people during this time is going to really carry into the future of your business relationships.
Right.
You treat people like shit, you lay everyone off, you just trying to just get as much money for yourself.
Right.
What's going to happen when...
Pardon me if I do a preacher dab.
Preacher dab.
These motherfucking, these lights. Go ahead.
Lunel actually banned her daughter from her home.
For what?
She just wasn't taking it seriously. She was out, I guess, partying, hanging out with her friends and so forth.
Amen. Them is old school Black rules. Lunel come from old school. You ain't doing what the fuck you supposed to do. Bounce. You ain't gonna get me sick.
What do you think about Trump calling it the Chinese virus?
Well, we know he's a cocksucker. We know he's a racist cocksucker. Listen, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to avoid doing this. But prior to this interview, you talked about how you and Boozy do interviews, and sometimes they go 2-3 hours.
Yes.
I certainly don't want to go off on a tangent, but I feel obligated to say this. So let's get into this. And this might be more me coming to you than you asking me a question, but I feel like I got to get into this because it's starting to make my stomach itch.
Let's do it.
Because you brought up Trump.
Yes.
Don't you miss Obama?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you miss Obama?
Yeah, I think that's why Biden is getting this far, because everyone just misses Obama.
Now, here we go. Oh, sweet Jesus. This is my camera, right? I want to address all you black people who constantly ask the dumbest question alive. What did Obama do for us. And one of the things that, and listen, I am so proud to be black. I love being black. And whatever race you are, be proud to be that. But there are times when, yes, I am pro-black. I am proud of it. When I saw that clip with Kanye West and my man, I forget the boy's name, the white boy on the plane, and they're all doing the karaoke on the plane, and we're in rhythm. Top of the Mary J. Blige song, da-da-da, how do you want it? I look at that and I just go, I look at the beauty of my people, and I go, man, motherfucking Whitney Houston, Michael Jordan, motherfucking Prince, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson. We are so diverse and so talented. And this is where I'm going to quote my man Paul Mooney. Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. We are so rich in terms of what we do. Talent, and not just entertainment. In terms of history and our contributions to life. Black people are rich. But then we do things that make me fucking sick. Some of our people possess the inability to see past what's obvious. So let's go. What did Obama do for black people? First of all, when he was sworn in and he won the presidency, let's just start there. We were immediately etched into the history books. The landscape forever changed. Mm-hmm. If no one can say anything else, they can say America had its first black president. Mm-hmm. Now, as a black person, as a black father, as a black mother, you can look your kids in the face and go, we did that. That can never be taken away.
Right. I just want to make one point. When you and I, because you and I are about the same age.
Right.
Before Obama, when they said there's going to be a black president in our lifetime, did you believe it? Shit.
Yeah, because I know if you stick around long enough, everything happens.
Right, but realistically,
I didn't think I would see it in my lifetime.
That's why in your lifetime.
In my lifetime, no. I know it's a question of time.
Neither one of us thought there was going to be a black president.
Right.
That doesn't make either one of us racist. That was just the reality of America.
Yes,
at that time.
Which is why this is even more powerful.
Yes.
And impactful. Because if nothing else, you can go, if he didn't do shit else, which he did, but if he didn't do shit else, you can go, he did that. That's us. Us. The history of this country. The White House was built by slaves. Now there's a nigga as the commander-in-chief. That in and of itself is huge. Okay, so let's move forward. Being the first of anything is a huge burden. But being the first black president is a weight I couldn't imagine for anyone to be able to bear. You know, it's like when I almost liken Obama to Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was the first pro ball player. Now, was he supposed to change all of baseball's racial ills by himself? No, it would take more than him. It would take Willie Mays. It would take motherfucking Hank Aaron. It would take those that would come after him, which is to say, Barack ain't gonna be able to do everything in 2 terms. It's gonna take more than him. This is a baton race. It's not a one-man sprint. He took it as far as he could take it. He's doing like this. And then when the next black president comes, it'll be his job to take it further and so on. And it was like, look, man, as the first black president, he's the blueprint. It wasn't like he could call the 20th black president and go, hey, man, what's the skinny on this? What am I in store for? Give me some help. No, nigga, you're the first one, which means that you got to go through the brunt of all the bullshit, which he did, the disrespect, the name calling, the political pundits. And even when a lot of racist white America at rallies would show those pictures of him with the plate in his lip and the bone in his nose and the African garb looking like a tribesman, as though that's a fucking insult. That reminds me of that I love this line in the movie The Siege with Denzel Washington. At one point when he comes to face off against Bruce Willis, this one white soldier says to him, and I might be fucking this up, but he basically says to him, if you don't get out of my face, I'm gonna pretend you're Ethiopian. And Denzel said, like, that's a fucking, you too stupid to know that's not even an insult. So showing Barack as an African tribesman, when that's part of our history, it's not a fucking insult. But nonetheless, he had to deal with all of that shit. And Here's what we know about Barack, right? Harvard scholar.
Mm.
Harvard scholar.
Yeah.
Which means he was literally one of the smartest presidents we ever had. And I think he did a damn good job. And you can Google all his accomplishments. So when black people ask the question, what did he do for us? So you mean to tell me of all the things he accomplished, black people didn't benefit from that? Black people didn't benefit from taking us out of the recession, from healthcare, from all the other accomplishments he made? Black people didn't benefit from that? So it's like, on top of the fact that I do think he did a damn good job, especially when you look at what we had before him and after him, the bookends, Bush and Trump. The man was eloquent, dignified. He carried the job, chest out, chin up. And again, was he the most popular president? I don't know. But he was certainly one of the most popular, most beloved, and most successful. How is a black man in America? Do you not understand the potency of that fucking imagery? How is a black man in America? Do you not understand that you can look at your son and go, see what he did? He did us proud. He did well. He was smart. Chest out, chin up. Because you can bet your black ass, had he been the black version of Donald Trump, some of the mayonnaise people, some of the racist white America would have looked at their sons and went, what'd I tell you? Told you. They couldn't do it. They're not smart enough. The fuck did you niggas want this nigga to do? Pay your fucking rent? Now let's get specific. Well, he did more for the gays and the transgenders than he did for black people. If you really followed a lot of what was going on, Mitch McCullough himself said, I will never pass anything through that man tries to do. A lot of the right fought him tooth and nail on every piece of legislation he tried to pass. And let's be honest, this is America. Transgenders and gays ain't niggas. Our resume has never been put to the top of the pile. So if you have an entire right fighting this man and his hands are tied, what really could he have done? Honestly. Like even if we look at during his 8-year tenure, what was his biggest controversy? You remember?
His biggest controversy?
Yeah. A tan suit.
Okay.
A tan suit.
I don't even remember that.
All the right-wing pundits talked about it. Glenn Beck,
thinking,
Carlson Tucker, fucking Bill O'Reilly, fucking Ann Coulter, Glenn Beck, I might have said Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh. They all talked about it. This just in. Breaking news. A travesty. They use these words. A travesty. An embarrassment to the Oval Office. This is disrespectful. Meanwhile, we have President Biff in the White House talking about grabbing women by the pussy, making jokes about their menstrual cycles, making fun of the disabled, talking about Mexicans. They send their worst, rapists and murderers, wanting to build a wall instead of a bridge. Talking about telling 3 black congressional women of color, go back to where you came from. Calling countries where darker people reside shithole nations. Telling the police when you take a suspect and you put him in the car, don't go by procedure. Bang his head up against the car, which automatically gives a license to racist cops who go, oh, the president said I can mistreat these niggas. Calling the virus the Chinese virus, as though we don't have ignorant white folks who are looking for a reason to treat Asians inhumanely. Mm-hmm. How, as the leader of the free world, do you take that and go, I'm proud of that? Obama was the exact opposite of this nigga. And had Obama been anything like Trump, they would have bodied that nigga.
Right. And let's not forget that Trump got impeached.
Okay, here we go. And here we go. So again, even if Obama didn't do shit else, you know, Trump was acquitted for treason and betraying the country and colluding with Russia.
Although he got impeached.
Although he got impeached.
Yeah.
All these right-wing white men decided, nah, acquittal. And historically, and I just want to say real quick to the white people, because I don't want this to come off like I don't like white people, even though I've been accused of that on Instagram for statements like this. When I say white people, I'm not talking to all of y'all, but I am talking to a lot of y'all. Because here's one thing black people know about white people. We know that not all white people are racist. But as a race, you guys are known for racism. From a ground level, boots to soil, there have been a lot of white people that have fought in our cause, have bled with us, marched with us, died with us, the freedom riders. You see the footage, the black and white footage, white folks with blood all on their face. There have been white people that freed niggas during slavery, you know? So I'm not talking about all white people, but systematically, historically, white people have always put things in place to protect one another. It's the reason why cops get away with killing niggas. It's the reason why Emmett Till's murderers got off. It's the reason why the 4 little black girls that got bombed in the church bombing, their killer got off. Medgar Evers' killer wasn't brought to trial till he was damn near dead. Systematically. So when you look at the fact that this country historically has always protected their own, black people, why the fuck can't we protect our own? Despite what you think Obama's imperfections are, if they stand by theirs, why the fuck can't we stand behind ours? Black people have always shown this ability to throw each other under the bus, slit each other's throat. What did Obama do for us? Even if he didn't do anything, so what? The nigga won. We're in history. And if they look out for theirs, why the fuck don't we look out for ours? Yeah, I'm getting emotional. Because you niggas make me sick with that. You're so short-sighted, you can't see the bigger picture.
There you have it.
No, I just don't. Like, I read one comment by a black girl who said the same thing. Obama ain't do nothing for us. How about the fact that Michelle Obama was the first lady?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You can look at your black daughter, black woman, and go, our women and our girls have always been born and bred to believe dark is ugly. Look at you with your dark skin and your nappy hair. Here you got Michelle Obama, beautiful black woman, highly intelligent, classy first lady. Now you can look at your daughter and go, you can be that.
Right, because
you can be that. So why is that not a big deal to you?
Right, because before Obama, who was the black man who had the highest position in government?
I'm not a real political dude, so can I guess? I'm Colin Powell?
You could say him. I would say Clarence Thomas.
Okay, I know where you're going with this now.
See where I'm going with this?
Clarence Thomas, right.
Who's he married to?
Exactly. and with him and Anita Hill, that's already part of the shit that exists within the black community, is how black men disrespect and mistreat black women. So now you got Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, basically the Beyonce and Jay-Z of politics. No flaws, no controversies, no cheating, tight-knit family. They're the Huxtables without the rape. This is beautiful.
Okay.
This is beautiful. This is real shit. How as black people do you not take pride in that? And even if you wanted more, what a great starting point, isn't it? That's a great fucking starting point. I think niggas wanted Barack to give out Popeye sandwich coupons. Personally, I got your Popeye sandwich coupons. Like, what did you want this nigga to do? He was fought tooth and nail, resistance, made fun of, disrespected. He's the first. Okay, let's have this conversation when we get our 18th black president. Let's see now where we're at. He's the first. He ain't super nigga. He did what he could. You know what I mean? This is a baton race, not a fucking sprint. It's going to take more than one.
Yeah, I thought Cory Booker was going to get farther.
Yeah, his eyes cross too much.
Is that what that is?
Some white folks want to be able to look niggas in the face and have them look them back.
And he's like looking at...
Yeah, he's got the
look at their
shack.
two friends.
This nigga signing legislation with cross eyes. Fuck around signing the wrong bill.
So, right now you can't do stand-up shows anymore.
Right.
Did you have a bunch of tours that were canceled and so forth, or?
Yeah, I had 2 months worth of shows canceled.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's definitely rough.
Yeah.
I remember you were talking on one of your other interviews, and you were saying how when the domestic violence story broke, that Utah canceled all your shows.
Yeah, you know, the Mormons
And you're wearing a Utah shirt right now.
Yes, and I purposely put this motherfucker on.
White people's Africa.
I sell this shirt at my shows and online at ariesspears.com. Because if you've ever been to Utah,
I've been to Utah.
Ain't no niggas out there. So I say Utah is white people's Africa.
Utah, actually, I remember I went out there one time. I was in college, and me and a bunch of my friends went out there to go snowboarding, basically.
Yeah.
And the liquor only has 1/3 of the content. Like the beer has 1/3 of the content.
Yeah, and then
and actual like hard liquor can only be bought from a federal facility.
Dude, it's
crazy
why
out
the
there.
Fuck would you want to listen? There's certain parts of Utah, especially in the winter with the snow in the mountains. It's sexy. I would definitely like to have a wooden cottage in the mountains on some. This is my 8th home shit. This is where I take some of the side pussy. This is where I specifically fuck white girls. I take the snow to the snow. But yeah, dude, it culturally, I wouldn't understand how a nigga could want to live in Utah.
Yeah, Utah's a weird place. And I guess they're actually allowing polygamy out there now.
Is that right?
Yeah, like multiple marriages now.
Niggas might move to Utah.
You can bring your side chick home,
and,
nigga. You know?
Yeah, see? Yeah.
All those side babies you had, you know, you can bring them all home.
You keep people down long enough, when it's time, they explode. It becomes ridiculous.
What do you think about the stimulus package? $1,200.
Again, this is why y'all like this motherfucker? I gotta say, man, Donald Trump supporters, hats off. These motherfuckers don't break. They like the beehives, nigga. They stand behind this motherfucker no matter what. Like $1,200, that's literally like, look, man, I've been in a position where, you know, I put money away, you know, and I make the kind of money where I'm all right, you know what I mean? So, but what you doing with $1,200? Like how long is that supposed to last? And if I'm wrong, I read it was a one-time deal.
One-time deal.
And you have to pay back.
No,
you don't have to pay it back.
You don't have to pay it back. And if you have, well, it's $1,200 per person, $2,400 per married couple, and $500 for every child under 16.
Right.
But if you owe child support, you get nothing.
Wow.
Which I agree with.
Right.
You don't? I know you've had some child support issues. We've had this conversation in the past.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're not getting your $1,200?
Yeah, I ain't getting no weed money. I'm not gonna be able to buy weed for a week.
That $1,200?
Yeah, that's weed money, nigga.
Yeah. If you actually owe child support, you're not getting a check at all. I had heard something about the mother gets the check instead, but I'm not sure about that part.
Of course.
That's just how it works.
Of course.
So I set up this interview with Earthquake. This was our first time sitting down. And when it comes to talking about people's personal issues, I'm very, you try to touch and go and see whether the person's okay talking about it or not. You don't want to get them upset and have them walk out. And as I'm doing research, I saw an interview on Comedy Hype about his ex-wife and baby mother talking about how her and his son is about to be homeless because he stopped paying them and so forth and so forth. So I brought it up in the interview. He goes, "Oh yeah, I like. Have you seen the interview?" He's like, "Absolutely." He's like, "Let's talk about it." And he broke it down how when he first started paying child support, being a comedian and being an independent contractor, he was aware that his money may not be coming out, might not be coming consistently. Right? He may have gaps in his income, so he would pay over each time. He would overpay. And luckily, his income never stopped. So 3 years before he was done paying, before the child turned 18, he didn't have to pay anymore. He had already paid it off.
Right.
Well, in the interview, she said because you had paid off your child support a little bit early, that she felt she was about to be homeless along with your son.
Well, her being homeless is not. The reason why I paid it off early, because I'm an independent contractor, as if you.
Yep.
You don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
If you have a young lady, which she is, and you know that if I mess around and get sick, I will not make money to pay her. So my thing is, let me put some extra to it so I build up some working capital. So in case I get sick, I have payments that I already paid.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to the good Lord, I never got sick. So those 15 years of extra payments accumulated to 6 months early of me paying. So I say a joke. My son is 17, but in child support years, he's 18.
And that really just kind of hit a nerve, I think, with my audience. That became
Right.
like the biggest clip.
Well,
and
listen,
so
dude.
forth.
Everything I think I said on the child support issue was factual. And my manager told me, you know, there were several places where, you know, where I was either trying to get a special or I was trying to do something and was rejected because of it.
Because of our interview.
Yes, because there were women executives who were upset with it. You know, it always amazes me how when people scream equality, and I'm specifically talking to women and gays, you want equality, but you want equality with stipulations. You know what I mean? It's like if you want true equality, gay community, then you have to allow yourself to be made fun of like everybody else. And don't hit me with the, well, you know, but we're going through a struggle and with the blah, 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 and blah. You don't think slaves laughed during slavery? You don't think humor existed during the tough times in life? So man the fuck up. And if you want real equality, allow yourself to be fucked with like everybody else. Nobody is above being fucked with. And again, you know, women scream equality, equality, equality. But the moment it's time to do something that becomes too strenuous, sometimes I'm a girl thing kicks in. Fuck that. You want to put on a pantsuit and shake my hand and crush my bones to prove to me your handshake is strong as a man? All right, then deal with all the man shit. You know what I mean?
I don't remember going out on a date in my life when a woman has offered to pay for half.
But see, I'm old school in that way.
I'm old school too.
I don't mind paying.
No, listen. I always pay. I don't mind at all. I'm someone that's always done this. I'm just saying, I don't remember a single time on a first date that a woman has pulled out her wallet.
But you believe this. If she pulls out her wallet, listen close, you can hear the pussy dry up. As the wallet comes out, the pussy dries up. And women will play that game where they'll try to act like they not bought. Women sometimes have the worst poker face. Babe, you okay? Mm-hmm. Like, bitch, you're not. So it's like, you know, but I'm old school, man. Listen, I'm really old school, and I believe that I'm a Neanderthal. Men should be men and provide, and women should be caretakers. I'm not saying that if a woman wants to work, show her independence. I'm woman, hear me raw. Go for it, bitch. I'll even support you. But I'm old school. If I don't have a problem playing the role of, hey, I take care of the bills, I take care of the finances, make sure you straight from scalp to cuticle. Your hair's whipped, your feet and your toes are done, you got your banana peel or whatever the fuck you want to do to your face. I got all that. Just when I come home, I ain't doing no dishes. I ain't changing no diapers. I ain't cooking no meals. That's you. I ain't gonna bring home the bacon and fry it. If I bring home the bacon, bitch, get you. You know what I mean? I don't think that there's wrong with having that kind of understanding. You know, I just don't.
How's the quarantine treating you right now?
I love my lady, but I'm tired of this bitch. I can't wait to go back to work. Oh, I can't wait to go back to work, nigga. Woo.
What do you think of the Instagram comedians that are doing like IG Live,
Here's what I'm struggling
stand-up
with.
shows
It's funny that
with
you
no
say that.
audience?
It's funny that you say that. Jamie Masada, the owner of the Laugh Factory, for the last 3 days, called me. Buddy, I'm getting calls from the governor, from the mayor. People all over the world, they need humor. Buddy, come in, do 30 minutes, stand up, no audience. I pay you $500. I don't give a fuck about the money. It's the fact that there's no audience. Listen,
Right.
If athletes play a game with no audience, that's practice. If we stand up there and tell jokes with no audience, we're just a bunch of crazy motherfuckers talking to ourselves. And you need that audience in terms of timing and rhythm and how to bounce shit and play shit. So long story short, and first of all, I'm not doing 30 minutes, nigga. That's a half a special. You got me for 10. So I'm supposed to leave here and go to the Laugh Factory and do 10 minutes for Jamie at the club with no audience. And I'm dreading it. I'm just going, how do I blow this nigga off?
Oh, so you agreed to do it?
Yeah, but nigga, I'm gonna blow this nigga off, man. God damn.
Well, since last time, Bill Cosby got convicted.
Yeah.
I think he got 4 to 10 years.
Right.
Or 3 to 10, 4 to 10, something like that. Harvey Weinstein got 23.
That nigga's a white man. Let's see if he does all 23, nigga. That nigga's white. That nigga,
Paul Mooney voice.
That nigga will be out soon, nigga.
He's got coronavirus right now.
When this interview is over, Harvey will be outside. That nigga's not going to jail. Nigga, please. That nigga's got the complexion for the protection for the collection.
Well, he's in jail right now. He's in Rikers.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see?
We'll see. You know, this is America, man. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but shit just always works out for y'all.
Well, if he does his full 23, he's getting out at 90 years old. He is 67.
He ain't gonna make it.
He's not going to make it.
He ain't gonna make it. He gonna be, I think he'll be out within 5.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so. And in fact, I remember when he first got convicted, only 23 years was trending on Twitter. Like women were upset he only got 23 years. He's getting out at the young age of 90. That makes them unhappy.
I'm gonna leave this one alone because I could smell the minefield. I could smell the goddamn bombs in the dirt.
It's funny. I just had Godfrey on my show, right? And he said that if there were more women executives, he would have slept his way to the top.
If there were more women in charge, I would probably fuck my way up to the top, but it's never that. It's a hairy man ass. And I'm like, I don't like men's asses. And that's for whoever likes that, but I'm heterosexual. Why can't there be women in charge so I can fuck my way to the top?
Bravo, nigga. Bravo. Bravo, shit. You know.
Yeah.
It's, I'm, you know, I don't want to fuck this up, but like, it's always like, you know, sometimes when you've watched these shows like The View, and I forget what the other one's called, The Talk, like these women will get into a conversation about something in regards to some of the dirty, foul shit men do, whether it's criminal or whether it's sexual. And then when the tables are reversed and they talk about shit that women do, it's never with the same anger. It's never with the same vulgarity. It's never with the same energy. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of, there's just certain things where women just get a pass. And we overlook it because it's something we've always done. We've always overlooked it. Yeah, women, what are you going to do?
This is how I look at it. When you are in a winning position, a dominant position, nobody's going to feel sorry for you. The reality is, in America and pretty much the rest of the world, men are in a dominant position over women. White people are in a dominant position over other races. Rich people are in a dominant position over poor people. So when someone who's a rich white man gets convicted of something, nobody's feeling sorry for him. You see what I'm saying?
Except other rich white men.
Other rich white men, or other rich men like Bill Cosby, who spoke out for Harvey Weinstein. But what was interesting about that case, and I looked into it, not a single person, male or female, got on that stand to speak nicely about Harvey Weinstein. Not one. Out of all the people he helped to get Oscars, that he gave careers to,
Right.
Yes, it seemed like he was a rapist. It seemed like he was a dirtbag, but he obviously helped a lot of people that he was professional to.
Right.
He didn't rape all the men.
Right,
Think about all the men that he helped.
Yeah,
Nobody wanted a piece of that.
Once you have been convicted or once you have been accused, you're in quarantine. Like, everybody's
right.
We ain't fucking with you.
Who?
Dog.
Harvey who? I don't know who that is.
So, but you know, even when you mention Bill Cosby, going back a little bit to the conspiracy theory things, one of the things that black people would always say is,
he was going to buy NBC.
That's why they did it to him. That's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard.
I know.
Or you know what? But understand, they wouldn't sell it to him because he couldn't afford it. Yeah, he could afford it, but they weren't gonna sell it to him because that's power. You know, imagery, the ability to look at a television show or a movie, to people who don't know you, that's what they go off of. People who have never met black people, who have never interacted with black people, and first impressions, that's their first impression. Every time we've been shown as criminals, drug dealers, anything negative, that's the perception. So the ability to change perception through a powerful medium like entertainment, movies and TV, that's power. And no one wants to relinquish that kind of a power to a guy like Bill, who would have done nothing but positive imagery. So it wasn't that he couldn't afford it. You goddamn right he could afford it. But it was about the power behind it.
Yeah, I mean, D.L. Hughley isn't the biggest Bill Cosby fan. They got into it before.
Did he say why?
Yeah, he said why. I mean, essentially, DL was on the radio, and Bill Cosby called in, and DL introduced himself. He goes, "Oh yeah, you're the guy that uses the N word and does all the F word and all that stuff, and I don't like the kind of humor you do." He goes, "Well, I may use the N word, but a co-ed doesn't wake up drugged the next day with her panties around her ankles."
Right after CNN, I was doing Kiss FM. I was doing the morning show. Bill Cosby had called in to promote a gig I think he was having in Connecticut or Pennsylvania. And I was like, Bill don't like me, and I don't particularly care for him. So I'm not gonna, I'll let you guys do the interview. It was for pre-tape. And so a girl named Jackie Reed and a cat named Steve Wilson, who were my co-hosts, started interviewing me, but he was such a dick. For 5 minutes he's being such a dick. I was like, Mr. Cosby, what is it you like for us to know? He said, who is this? I said, this is D.L. Hughley. You say nigga, and I don't like your comedy. And he went in, and I was like, with all due respect, Mr. Cosby, I say nigga, but no co-ed has ever woke up drug with her drawers on backwards.
Nigga, you use the N-word and you're very dirty, and everything that you do is fucked up. I don't like the fact that you curse so much, and all the shit that you do, and it's dirty, and it's not a good look, you see, DL. See, the thing is this. You have to find a way to be more family orientated. Hey, bitch, come drink this.
But
What a hypocrite.
what DL did say is he said that Bill Cosby is the reason why Obama was elected president.
I don't think President Obama is president without Bill Cosby. I think that that's absolutely true. But you can be both profane.
Wait. You said that there would not be an Obama.
I don't think that. I think that Bill Cosby showed America that they could have a black father. So if they could have a black father, they could have a black leader. I think he set the table for Barack Obama.
If Bill Cosby did not put out the type of imagery that he put out in the Cosby Show and get white America to look differently at black people, he doesn't think that Obama would have gotten elected.
He rapes, but he saves. Dave Chappelle's joke. Did you see the special?
I did.
One of the greatest jokes ever. He rapes, but he saves. Yeah, it's hard to argue because I even said in my stand-up when talking about Obama, Bill Cosby's influence on black America because of the Cosby Show can never be overstated.
Immense.
Yeah. It was Good Times a reality in terms of black culture? Absolutely. But there was the other side that was not being shown, which white America needed to see.
Right.
We don't all live in the projects. We don't all come from broken homes.
Right.
We have well-to-do parents, black and white, male and female, in a family structure. We're articulate.
And shout out to the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
That was another show, but I don't feel the Jeffersons made even close to the impact of the Cosby Show.
No.
It just
Cosby
wasn't.
Show was the number
it
one.
wasn't as big of a show. We just interviewed.
But I also think timing had something to do with that.
I mean, we interviewed Marla Gibbs recently, also.
Right.
Who played, played the housekeeper on the show. I mean, that was the first show I think that showed a black family who was rich, successful, married, and basically the American dream.
With a loudmouth nigga. And listen, Norman Lear created that. So that's the white influence. The nigga got to be loud. Like, here's a fun fact for you kids. They didn't want James Evans, John Amos, to be on the show.
Yeah.
They wanted the family to be without a dad.
We talked, because Lunel is one of our, she actually does interviews for us now. She interviews other people, and she interviewed John Amos.
Right.
And he was saying that who's the one who played Esther?
Esther Roll. She
Esther Roll.
played
Yeah,
in
who played
Florida.
Florida. Sorry. So originally was her as a single mom,
Right.
and she had to fight
To
for
get
John Amos to be
Yeah.
her married husband.
That's what I'm saying. It's the blessing and the curse. Norman Lear was one of the white television executives who gave niggas a shot, but he still had to remind white America we're niggas. We put a black family on Good Times in the projects. Yay, black folks on TV. But there's no daddy, because you niggas ain't got no daddies. Yay, successful black man and living on the Upper West Side in the Jeffersons, but the nigga loud. Cosby Show was the first show that debunked all the stereotypes.
Yeah, you're talking
That didn't
about
feed into any of the stereotypes.
a doctor husband,
A lawyer,
a lawyer wife,
well-mannered, articulate, well-spoken kids.
yeah, the oldest daughter in college.
Right?
Everyone else goes to school.
Values.
They live in a nice brownstone in Brooklyn.
Right.
No one's getting arrested. No one's getting pregnant.
We needed that.
No one's selling drugs.
We needed that.
None of the stereotypical BS that you usually see.
Exactly.
Completely, you could have taken.
It was black life without all the bullshit and the stereotypes,
Right.
which was not a false thing. There were some black people early on that went, man, that shit ain't real. Them the same niggas going, what did Obama do for us? The inability to see past what is obvious. Come on, man.
Well, you were in the movie Jerry Maguire,
Yeah.
and Cuba Gooding Jr. won an Oscar.
Yes.
Did you maintain a relationship with Cuba at all?
No. Vlad, one of the things that I've had to learn since doing your show, and not just you,
Yeah.
but any interview, I gotta be careful with what I say, because it has fucked me. And I don't want to. I'm trying to take responsibility for my shit. I have fucked me. But yes, my words, even though I believed what I was saying, have fucked me. So I have to real quick, real careful.
Yeah. I think the first time, let me just kind of go off on a tangent. I think the first time you came in here, I don't think you knew what VladTV was,
Right.
or how big of an impact it's going to make once it comes out.
Right.
I think you thought this was just some little podcast. It's
No,
No?
It wasn't that I was downplaying it or disrespecting it, because whether it was this or whether it was, if I had done it at the time, the Tonight Show,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say what I say.
Right.
But I came into this business not knowing a lot of shit that I've learned along the way as I go.
Yeah.
And I had to touch the stove a couple times and go, oh shit,
Ouch.
ouch.
Well, okay. So since last time, Cuba Gooding
Cuba
Jr.
and I are two different niggas.
Okay.
You saying?
Well, now he, before the coronavirus thing, there was a bunch of charges and so forth.
Right.
I remember when Michael Jai White was here last time,
Yeah.
who was these days a very good friend of mine. And he knows Cuba very well. He was saying how Cuba's nickname is Butt Naked.
Cuba Butt Naked Jr.?
Yeah.
I'm curious to know where that came from.
He said that whenever they would go to parties, Cuba would end up naked. He said he went to this one bachelor party and Cuba got naked and he had to leave because he was just uncomfortable. You been around him when he just suddenly just dropped his pants? I'm asking this question the most heterosexual way possible right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not. No. But no, I know him to do that in public. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But at the time, it wasn't. It was just, oh, look how crazy Cuba is. Like he's on that shit. He's wild. I was at a bachelor party that he given, and I had to leave. You know, I was thinking like none of this.
All right, let me. Okay, here we go. I got to do the Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon, nigga, before I shoot the shot. All right. I remember when we did Jerry Maguire, Cuba showed up in a truck that, first of all, when you hit the horn, they made a police sound.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop. Number one, red flag. Then the nigga plays hockey. Number two, red flag. And listen, I make jokes. And this is part of what I said about Key and Peele, which, you know, there was a better way to say it. Love who you love, goddammit. Whether you black man with a white woman, it don't matter. Life is short. Love who you love. Fuck what people have to say. But there's always been an issue in the black community about the black family structure, about black men and women being together, making beautiful black babies, and having a wholesome family, which again lends itself to the Cosby Show. So when I say this, I'm not saying it like, oh, damn, Cuba, because he had a white wife. Love who you love.
I just found this out just now. I never knew who he was married to.
I'm just saying, what nigga gets a police anything to come out of his car? What niggas like hockey? White women, I get it. You know, sometimes it's like a taste. It's like, you know, escargot. Like, nigga, I got a taste for.
You're comparing white women to snails.
Yeah, I mean, just saying, you get a mood. Like sometimes, I fucked plenty of white bitch. Shout out to porn star Julie Cash. Oh, that bitch is a white tiger, nigga. They exist. White women with Atlanta bodies, they exist. So sometimes you just have a craving, you know? And even if you make it long-term, meaning marriage, God bless you. I'm just saying, when you add all the pieces up, niggas don't get butt naked at strangers' places. That's not culturally what we do. So if it smells like her and walks like her and looks like her, what is it?
Yeah, and I interviewed Lunel, and she was like, "Well, Cuba's known to be handsy with the ladies."
He is, yes, it's no secret around Hollywood that Cuba likes the ladies, He likes to drink a little bit, and he likes the ladies. I don't know if he's inappropriate though. If he's going up under chicks' skirts, grabbing and, doing like your president, grabbing them in the pussy, shit like that.
And unfortunately, in 2019, 2020, that's not the time to do that.
There's never a time to do it.
There's never a time to do it. Well, in the 50s, you can get away with it.
In the 50s, you can get away with a lot of shit. Make my dinner, bitch. Handsy. These niggas get handsy.
Yeah, in 2019, that is not the way to do it. And, at this point, with the court systems all on hold, maybe they'll just forget about it.
No, they
move on to something else.
They don't forget about niggas. White folks hold on to niggas.
Man,
White folks will dig up a nigga charge like an archaeologist digging up a dinosaur bone.
Well, I mean, look at Rick James.
Yeah.
He's being sued for an alleged rape that happened 40 years ago.
Right.
40 years ago, a woman claimed that. Now, I'm not laughing at what it allegedly happened. I'm talking
You're
about
Russian. That's
40 years ago. 40 years ago.
Man raped woman 40 years ago. Hilarious. 2 shots of vodka. We toast to rape.
40 years ago.
Right.
He's been dead for 10.
Right.
What are you doing with this?
Listen, man, you can't put a date on righting the wrongs.
Michael Jackson leaving Neverland. I think that happened after our last interview.
Do you believe he did it?
I've never said this before, but I'm going to bring it up. For the longest time, I thought, well, a grown man hanging out with kids makes no goddamn sense whatsoever.
Right.
That aren't his kids, that aren't his nephews, his biological children, sleepovers, whatever else. I'm like, when there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know. Maybe seems somewhat likely. But then I remember someone had posted up the actual seizure paperwork when Neverland got raided. Remember that?
Right.
And they actually listed out all the porn movies that they found at his house.
Regular porn.
It was all regular porn. It was all regular, straight, heterosexual porn. stuff that I would watch. And I'm like, if there was some gay porn in there or some kiddie porn in there, I would have been like, okay.
Or regular porn.
But it was all regular porn.
Here's what I love.
If
dude.
you find a man's porn stash,
Right.
you kind of know what he's into.
Here's what I love.
I'm a porn watcher. You know,
Right.
it is what it is. You
Right.
probably watch porn too.
I'm not. I fuck porn stars. I'm not into porn.
You're not into porn? You don't
No,
watch?
no.
Okay, I watch porn.
Right.
But when you find a man's porn stash,
Yes.
his real porn stash, you kind of know his fetishes.
Do you know?
And I didn't see any sort of gay or pedophile stuff in there.
Do you know how relieved I am that you've told me this?
Okay.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Prior to hearing that, I thought Mike did it.
Okay.
Because here's one thing: celebrity. Celebrity is such a toxic thing, like a drug to people. And people feel like because they love your music, because you've been the soundtrack to their life, you've provided moments, they act like celebrities are immune from doing foul shit. You know, there can be sick celebs just like sick regular folk. Only difference is celebrities have the money and the means to beat it, or to at least fight it. Why can't R. Kelly be guilty? Why can't Bill Cosby be guilty? Why can't Michael Jackson be guilty? It would be stupid to believe that just because you're famous, you don't have a sick gene in your body. You're a talented motherfucker who has a sick gene in their body. But I'm glad to hear you say that because, like, I used to hear these rumors from people until I actually talked to a couple of people who said, yo, I know Mike. I've hung out with Mike. That Michael Jackson shit, Mike, I'm Mike. He don't talk like that. Nigga got bass in his voice.
I heard that
Mike cusses, motherfucker. So I'm like, to hear that, for whatever reason, I don't know why, for his whole life he put on that charade. I'm Michael, I'm sensitive, I'm loving it. Mike like pussy. Mike talked with bass. He cursed. Mike was a real nigga. That makes me believe he didn't do it.
Let me tell you, I interviewed Ronnie Newt. You know, rest in peace. He actually died maybe about a year ago. And his kids, the Neutrons, were signed to Joe Jackson's label.
Right.
So he hung out at Michael Jackson's house.
Right.
And he's telling me these stories, and he's pulling out pictures. He's wearing the glove. He's hanging out at the house.
Right.
And he's like, yo, there was this one moment when Bubbles, the monkey, I guess, like bit somebody. He said Michael Jackson beat up that monkey right there. Hit him with like a 3-piece. Bam, bam, bam.
With Bubba, so Bubba bit Jay.
Bubbles is the monkey.
It's the monkey. Bubba bit Jay on his arm. And Jay said, Dad, he bit me. Michael said, he did what? He said, Bubba, did you bite him? He said, Michael said, bam, slapped him to his knees. And Bubba said, I said, what is he doing? Michael said, praying for his life, because he know he done did the wrong thing.
So Michael Jackson beat up Bubbles.
He hit him with an 8-piece.
With an 8-piece.
With an 8-piece. Mike was fast.
Really?
Oh my God.
God damn it. What you wouldn't give to see some shit like that.
Michael Jackson beating up a chimpanzee.
Like, dude, I'm a Jordan groupie.
Yeah.
And what you heard me doing before we started the interview, sending out a post because they about to air this Last Dance documentary. I think it's a 4-week documentary about the Bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About Jordan.
About Jordan.
Yeah.
And I remember I was looking at one of the previews on Instagram, and I think the player's name was Scott Burrell. I might be fucking up the last name, but Scott for sure. So there's one moment where Jordan is laying on the hardwood at the practice, and Scott's basically telling Mike, hey, Mike, I'm going to guard you. And he goes, hey, Scott, you might want to try somebody else like Judd, because you're going to be a guard me. So then they show another moment where him and Mike are suited up, and they're in the locker room, and Mike's giving Scott shit, and the camera's on, and Scott is like, come on, man, go somewhere else with the camera. And Michael goes, have you even scored a jump shot yet, you non-shooting motherfucker? And I was like, yes! That's the Jordan, that's the nigga I would love to hang out with. Don't give me the, sometimes I dream, fuck the Hanes and the Gatorade. Because we know Mike's all about his brand, he's all about his image, and he's this clean cut on the surface, you know, mainstream Saks Fifth Avenue, Madison Avenue salesman. I want the Mike that smokes cigars, drinks tequila, plays cards, and curses. That's the nigga that intrigues me.
Oh yeah, we had this. We actually did an animation out of it. Chameleonaire approached Jordan at
Right.
like a party.
I saw that story.
You know what I'm talking about? When he approached him and was like, "Hey, Mike, can I take a picture with you?" And he's like, "I'm not gonna take a picture with no N-words."
This is just that one moment I'm gonna ask Mike for a picture. I went over there, man. I don't mean to be rude, but Mike, I just want to know if I could get a picture. He said, "Oh hell nah, man! I ain't taking no pictures with no niggas." I kind of got stunned for a second because I was like, "Wait a second! I don't think he heard." I turned back and my boys was just looking at me like, "Damn."
Like,
Right,
in front of everybody.
And
like,
you know,
with
here's the
Spike Lee
thing.
looking at him like, oh man.
Here's the thing. You know, I've heard Jordan's an asshole. I've heard stories. Yo, Mike's an asshole. He's mean. But I've heard even more stories. He's the coolest motherfucker in the world. And one thing I always say about celebrities that people got to understand. Now, I'm not saying what Mike did was right, but we're human beings too. And sometimes you got to catch us at the right time.
Yeah.
You know, and think about it. You're Michael Jordan. You can't go nowhere without being mobbed.
Right. You're the most famous human being on earth.
Since
right,
Ali.
Right now.
Right.
Right now.
Right.
The most famous living human being on earth.
And you
I
ain't
believe,
played in 20 years?
Yeah, I believe is Michael Jordan. I can't think of a human being more popular than Jordan.
They said the only celebrity that was as famous as Jordan, if not more, Ali.
Well, and of course, there's
Michael
Michael Jackson.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of athletes.
Right. But you don't know what Mike might have gotten an argument with Juanita. You know, his kids might have pissed him off. He just might not been in a good mood. Because my whole thing is, as much as I love this nigga, nothing would crush me more than to finally meet Michael Jordan, who's one of him, Ali, and Tyson, and Michael Jackson were the only 4 celebrities that would make me starstruck. And nothing would crush me more than to go up to Mike and be like, yo, Mike. And he talked to me like he talked to Chameleon. I will purposely get mad and say some shit I don't mean. Nigga, that's why LeBron better than you. I don't mean that, but I'd be mad.
Well, you met Mike Tyson.
Yes, and I'm almost this close to finally doing his podcast, Hot Boxing.
Oh, he invited you?
Yeah. Well, we've been I talked to him on Zoom
Okay.
About a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, dude, I'm a Mike Tyson and Jordan. I'm a Mike Tyson groupie, nigga.
Can you do the Mike Tyson impression?
It was always exaggerated. You know, it's always, everybody does this. It's a list. It's this. So, you know, I don't know how much of an impression it was. It was just me being a caricature of him.
Right. Well, I guess when you met him, he was like, I know who you are, motherfucker.
Yeah, we did Best Damn Sports Show.
Was John Sally the host?
No, John Sally. This was back when it was great. When it was John Sally, Charlie Rose. Was it Charlie Rose, Michael Irvin, and I forget my man's name, played baseball for the Phillies, John Kruk, and Tom Arnold. And I went on there and I did a couple of joints with them, and they liked it so well, they were like, yo, we want to extend you through the summer. We want you to come every day for the next 2 months. So I did pretty much my whole run, and then towards my last week, they announced the next week when I would be done, yo, Mike's coming. I begged the producers. I was like, man, y'all gotta I gotta meet this nigga. I love this nigga, man. So they was like, okay, we'll hook it up. So Mike shows up. They do a big, Mike's coming in 2 hours. They did a countdown. The limo comes. They shoot him coming out the limo, going in the elevator, walking down the hall, all on his way to the studio. I'm standing off to the side. Nigga, I put on a suit. I don't dress up for nobody. I put on a suit. Mike's coming, and I'm standing there, and just as he's getting near the studio door, he sees me, and he makes a beeline right to me. And I was like, yo, Mike, man, I love your shit, dog. He said, nigga, I know who you are. I know who you are, nigga. I seen all the shit you do. I know who you are, nigga.
Because you used to parody him on Mad TV, right?
Oh, we went for the jugular, nigga. The shit we would do. See, and this is the thing, too. On Mad TV, we weren't nice about anything. There were celebrities who didn't want to do the show just because we went too hard. Like, we went hard on you. So, yeah, I hit Mike hard a few times. But Mike's a different dude now. He's found his feng shui.
Yeah.
He's mellowed the fuck out.
You mentioned Jordan. And, we talked about John Sally.
Yeah.
Well, John Sally went on my show, as you said in other interviews, and he said that Jordan is not the most skilled player that he's ever played with.
I think Scotty is more skilled than all of them. Scottie Pippen is probably the most skilled player I've ever played with.
Really?
Yeah. And his hands come to his shins. Okay? Standing straight up.
John, stop, nigga.
He said it's Scottie Pippen.
I don't take anything a Piston says seriously. Mike.
But he was a Bull as well.
No, he was a free rider, the motherfucker. I love John. I know John. John, I love you, but nigga, stop. That motherfucker went along for the ride. John wasn't Spider Sally when he played in Chicago. He was just John Sally. What are the Pistons supposed to say? Come on, man. Like, you know, it's interesting. This morning, I was looking through Instagram, and there was a thing I saw where basically they were getting a bunch of NBA players' opinion as to who's the greatest player.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 5 they interviewed, all of them said LeBron, one of which was Bill Lambier.
Huh.
Nigga, word. What do you expect a Piston to say? And, you know, it's amazing. It's like once you step out of the spotlight, once you're no longer in that place where people look at you in awe, people can't wait to throw dirt on you. How the fuck is LeBron James greater than Michael Jordan? I've seen Mike play. Like, a lot of the people that say that are young kids. They never saw Mike. Only thing they know about Mike is he's the nigga with the sneakers and the crying man.
Yeah, I'm wearing the sneakers right now.
I'm 44, about to be 45 in 2 days. I've watched Kobe in his prime. I've watched LeBron in his prime. I've seen MJ in his prime. No, Michael Jordan's the greatest player to ever play the fucking game.
Okay, so how would you, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, how would you rank them?
Jordan, Kobe, LeBron.
So you would put
I
Kobe...
wonder, when the fuck did LeBron pass Kobe? And let me get into this argument. I'm going to rant a little bit like I did with the Obama shit. 6-0 beats 3-6. Everybody, like Bill Lambier said, when LeBron first came in the league, he won. Won what? What did he win? When he took that garbage-ass Cleveland team to the finals, unless I'm missing something, they lost. What did he win? People go, it's impressive that LeBron's been... And let me just say, in case LeBron's people see this, I'm a fan of LeBron. I think LeBron truly is the greatest player today. I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest players of all time. But he ain't fucking with MJ. When people go, he went to the finals 9 times, but he won 3 out of 6. It'd be different if he won all 9. He won 3 out of 6. When it counted, when the game was on the line, MJ's 6-0.
Yeah.
6-0 beats 3-6. What about this math is complicated? Like, let me say something, and people go, let me dispel a bunch of myths. People go, okay, so if it's all about the rings, Bill Russell. First of all, Bill Russell played in an era where there was 3 niggas in the league. And Larry Bird himself, the legend, said basketball is a black man's sport. He felt disrespected when the opposing coach put a white guy on him. Basketball is a black man game. All the greatest players are black. So if Bill Russell, and I know this ain't his fault, played in an era where they only allowed 3 niggas in the whole league, and he was a man amongst midgets, of course he won 11 rings. There's no way you can tell me that Bill Russell wins 11 rings in the late 80s, 90s era, playing against other premier big men like Ewing, Robinson, Olajuwon, Shaq. No fucking way. So let's dispel that one. Okay, if it's all about rings, Robert Horry is the greatest. He won 7. Folks, there's a difference between winning for a reason and being the reason you win. Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, Akeem, fucking Akeem, you know, Bird, Magic. They're the franchise. Mm-hmm. They're the reason their teams win. Yes, you still need role players, but they're the reason. Robert Horry, right place, right time. Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Shaq and Kobe. He won for a reason. There's a difference. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Well, Kareem's the GOAT. He got 6 rings, and he's the #1 leading scorer. Yeah, but he didn't change the game. It's also about impact on the game. Michael made the game global. Michael took the game across the waters. Michael made the game mainstream. He made it marketable. He made it Fifth Avenue. impact. Kareem did not have that kind of impact. Yes, he has the same amount of rings. Yes, he's the #1 leading scorer, but he didn't change the game. So let's put that argument to bed. And one more thing, I'm going to say this. So 3-6 versus 6-0. Let me put it to you like this. What would you rather have? And I'm asking you guys and you, Vlad. Would you rather have a big dick that works sometimes, 3-6, or an average dick that works all the time, 6-0? Choose wisely.
Well, in one of your interviews, you said you're almost an atheist?
Almost. I'm not there yet, but I'm leaning to the dark side.
Yeah, I'm pretty much an atheist.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Jewish by blood,
Right.
but I'm not religious.
Right.
I haven't gone to a synagogue in decades and decades and
Right.
decades. You know, only reason I had a bar mitzvah was because it was important to my grandparents. You know,
Right.
they came over from Russia and we weren't allowed to do it there, so I did it for them. And after that, I'm pretty much was done with it. Now in the black community, that's like,
Oh, that's blasphemous.
that's blasphemy.
Even though, you know what's interesting? The more I go through it, a lot of people on Instagram hit me up that's black and believe the same thing. It's almost like being black and being an atheist is like a closet thing. But the more and more we look, you too, and more of us are coming out. More of us are going, hey, man, yeah. And here's the thing that kills me about religious people. You know, they're such fucking hypocrites. Like, I get people that cuss me out, call me names, talk shit, get angry at the fact that I believe what I believe, I say what I say, and I feel what I feel. If God is everything you say he is, and religion and the Bible is what you say it is, isn't that wrong? Aren't you supposed to be able to disagree with me, and we don't share the same views, but you don't cuss me out? You don't belittle me. Wouldn't God be against downing your brother just because he doesn't believe what you believe? You know, and you say God gives man free will. Okay, well then I should have the free will to not believe. And I'm a monster because of that. You some of you guys attack me because of that. You call me out my name. You tell me I ain't shit. I'm going to hell. Isn't that against what you preach? Aren't you supposed to take me under the wing and say, hey, my brother, even though we don't agree, let's talk about it. And if we still don't agree, I still love you. I still respect you. So, you know, come on, man.
Well, were you raised Christian?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So your parents
we never
were
went
not
to church. Nah.
grandparents?
Nah.
So grandparents were not religious.
I mean, I wasn't close to my grandparents. They might have been,
Okay.
but I really didn't fuck with too much of my family.
Yeah, I've always kind of had a bone to pick when it comes to Christianity and the black community, just because of the history of it.
Right.
How the first black aristocracy were the preachers, which were used by the slave masters to control the slaves.
Right.
And then you're given an image of somebody who doesn't look like you at all. You know, the whole white Jesus, when there were no white people.
If your hair was longer, you'd be Jesus.
I'd be
nigga.
Jesus, yeah.
You look like Jesus.
I look a little bit like Jesus.
Right.
But there are no people that look like me in the Middle East, especially during that time. It's just historically inaccurate. But these are the images and so forth. And look, I have a lot of people close to me that are very religious, that watch church every Sunday and so forth. So, you know, it's kind of a dicey issue for me as well. But
do you know how much feedback you're going to get because of this right now?
Well,
When I say feedback, I'm talking about the comments in the
yeah.
comment section. Because there's going to be so many people, as you said, you know, who they're going to say, Jesus ain't even black. He's Middle Eastern. Sand nigga, leather nigga, it's niggas. I don't care. My whole thing is certain things just don't make sense to me and constantly contradict themselves. You know, as I said in so many interviews, black people, we have sayings. God is good, ain't he? And then the congregation yells out, and the people in the church, all the time. And I'm just going, all the time, yo? Give me some of the time, but not all the time. You know, niggas were slaves for 400 years. For 400 years, we prayed, Oh my Lord, 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 Lord. God gonna come one day. Well, eventually slavery wasn't gonna last forever. So now once slavery is over, the Lord done came. This nigga's 400 years late. So I don't know if God is black or white, but apparently based on the time frame, he's gotta be a nigga. He's late than a motherfucker. You know, what is God? Is he black? Is he white? Well, let's say he is black. What black God would allow his people to endure that? And if God ain't black and he's white, that's who you praising to? The same white God that allowed you to go through that? That don't make sense to me. And all I've ever asked is make this make sense to me. You know, I have a problem with, so 4 little black girls in a church get blown to bits, right? Dylan Roof goes into a church and murders 9 black people while praising him. If God is everything that you say he is, this powerful, almighty entity, and I know, God gives man free will. But like the mafia, they have rules. No women, no kids. I would think that if God goes, I'm gonna give man free will, but here's my one rule. You can't kill people in my house. It's my house. You can't walk into my house where the angels are and murder people praising me. You can't murder 5 black girls, children, in my house. This is the one time I'm gonna go, I'm interfering. I read these stories, I look at the news, kids raped, murdered, terrorized. I go on YouTube and I saw where you type in people's reaction to the judge handing down sentences. Big, strong, fucking adult male going to jail for life for drowning a 3-year-old in scalding hot water, beating it so badly with a belt buckle, it killed it. God don't go, wait a minute, I'm stepping in. I have a problem with that. You know, I had one dude tell me on social media, it's your negative energy. That's why bad things ain't, that's why your life, Aries, ain't working for you. It's your negative energy. If you change your energy, God will. Okay, so all the kids dying in hospitals of terminal illness, it's their energy? They got bad energy? The mothers are praying, please, Lord, spare this one. It's their energy?
Yeah, I mean, we just had Iman Shumpert on the show. My man, Coach PR, did the interview, and Iman was saying how, you know, he was raised, I believe, Catholic, but then like the preacher, I guess, was molesting kids in his church. So he was talking about how he would cry, you know, before church, you know, because, you know, I guess he had heard about what was happening or whatever else. And then when he got to the league, you know, he was kind of questioning his whole thing. He was like, yo, when I'm praying, I just feel like I'm talking to myself. And then, you know, Carmelo, I guess, talked to him about spirituality, and that's where he kind of found, you know, whatever sense of religion or whatever that he works with now. But he was like, yo, I'm just talking to myself. Like, this whole praying thing, I just don't get it.
I was raised Catholic, you know what I'm saying? But 3 different times the pastor molested kids. So it was like this negative vibe that came to where people don't know, for a while, I cried before church. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm nervous, but I also ain't never been, like, you know, my grandmama always had me, make sure you saying your prayers, like, make sure you doing this. She used to tell me, like, you don't have to bend on your knees to say your prayer. You could just lay in the bed, just say your prayer. You don't have to, people gonna tell you that you ain't gotta do none of that. You just gotta talk to them. You just gotta talk. You just gotta, so it's like, I always had that to where I felt like I need to go to church. So it was like, first it was like, I'm not going every Sunday. Now I'm going like once a month when I really need it. But I'm continuing my own relationship. When I got around Mello, because I remember, pastor after pastor molested, when I got to college and they did it again, my teammate took me on the east side and I went to his church and that dude pulled what he pulled. I ain't gonna name the man, but he pulled what he pulled and I'm like, y'all was just in your church, bro.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all, bro? I'll punch one of y'all in y'all face, bro. Like, I don't get down. You know what I'm saying? I don't get down with that, bro. Like, why would you have me do that? And in my mind then, it's like, I'm in the Lord's house and all that. But it made me start realizing, like, bro, you just built that. Y'all just built this, bro. This ain't no Lord's house, none of that, bro.
Hey, you built this.
Y'all built this. This construction workers building this. Y'all made it cold with air conditioning. Y'all put wine in the. That's how I start. You know, what I mean? I start stripping it down and like saying, like, bro, y'all making us pay all this money to do all, and y'all ain't really doing nothing. Y'all on some bull over here. Like, you ain't even living correct, and you telling me you supposed to be my example, bro. So I'm holding you up here for what? You know what I'm saying? And then I start thinking about it as the prayer thing. I'm like, they steady saying like he ain't supposed to talk back to you and all la la la. And I start realizing, bro, I'm just guiding myself. After a while,
You
and
can't
one
question
time,
him. You're not supposed to question him. Like,
see what I'm saying? You're not supposed to question him, but you're supposed to spill it all. And I start realizing, bro, I'm just putting myself through therapy. I'm imagining a therapist.
Right.
I'm talking to myself,
Right.
essentially.
But look, at the end of the day, human society is a very short window of time compared to how long humans have been on this earth. There's just been a lot of questions that people cannot answer because science was not answering those questions. So God made a lot of sense back then. You have a question that can't be answered. What happens when you die? Well, according to this book, this is what God tells us. Well, why did these, why is my sister sick? Well, according to this book, here's the answer. Where did the earth come from? It was made in 6 days and then God rested. What about dinosaurs? We're not going to talk about that. And then as more science comes about, a lot of the things that people learn in religion just kind of don't make sense anymore. But there's always ways that they adjust and so forth.
I would think like, okay, when Katrina happened, all these black folks misplaced, lives turned upside down. They got no homes. Family and relatives died. People living in the fucked up conditions. And I'm sure a lot of them misplaced black folks whose lives were turned upside down went to church. They went to church, they prayed, they believed, they gave their 10%. And this is what happens. Cut to Bill Maher, proud, loud atheist. Preach it to you, scream it to you till he's blue in the face.
Made a documentary about it.
Right, religiousess.
Mm-hmm.
His life's fine. He's getting richer. He has a show on HBO. He's got so much money, he donates $1 million to whatever presidential candidate he wants to give it to. Does shows flying around in a private jet. This is a man who doesn't believe.
Yeah.
But yet the people that believe are suffering. The people that believe are dying in water. The people that believe are getting raped at the fucking New Orleans Dome. The people that believe are giving their 10%. Make that make sense to me. I would think that if you believe and you pray and you worship and you give your 10% and you're doing it faithfully and consistently, wouldn't the big guy look out for you? Wouldn't the big guy help? But yet the guy that don't believe, taking off in a private jet to go make another $1 million doing stand-up. Make that make sense to me.
Last time I saw you perform at the Laugh Factory,
Mm-hmm.
You got into it with an audience member.
Did I?
Yeah. I guess you were making some rape jokes.
No. It wasn't a rape.
It wasn't a rape
we
joke?
gotta be careful here.
Okay.
It wasn't rape jokes. It was a. I said something about rape within a joke that was about something more.
Okay.
Right.
I don't remember exactly what you said because
Right.
this was like around, I don't know, 6
Right.
months ago or so.
Right.
But a woman in the audience got offended.
Of course.
And you started going hard at her.
Yes.
I'll be honest, and me and Godfrey talked about this.
I saw that on the episode.
Yeah.
Godfrey came to my defense.
Yeah.
When that white girl said something, and to Aries, it was just this whole, because they're trying to police comedy. Because comedy is the last form of really like free speech. It's actually, comedians are saviors. We're trying to talk about the ills of the world in our own way. But white women are trying to police shit where there's like, you can't say this, you can't say that. But white women are calling police on black children selling lemonade. Fuck you. You know what I mean? White women are calling the police on there's a white woman, if there's a video of a white woman pulling a gun on a black couple in a park, pulling a gun out on a black couple in a park. You know, white women are doing a lot of fucked up racist ass shit themselves, yet complaining about shit. and have the nerve to come into comedy, you know what I mean? To come into comedy and tell you, oh, I'm offended by this. No, we're offended by what the fuck you're doing. You know what I mean? So Aries shut that shit down. He was like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, and I like that he got super edgy because he's letting you know, yo, you're not gonna stop this flow. I've been doing this shit too long. And the way the industry is now, a lot, they're trying to police what's actual funny and edgy.
I felt a bit uncomfortable watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that was your intent. But
no, my intent was to make you laugh. If you get uncomfortable, that's your personal issue.
Right. But you were going so hard at this woman that I was like, oh shit.
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. So now that you're sitting here talking to me,
yes,
explain the mentality of these types of incidents when you perform.
Listen, I'm old school, man. I take pride in the fact that a lot of people go, I'm not saying it's it's my drive or my intention. When people go, yo, Aries is one of the last real comedians left. This motherfucker's real. And I wear it as a badge of honor. And it's not like I'm sitting here going, yes, every joke is my intent to make you feel uncomfortable. No, my intent's to make you laugh. What you do with it is your business. It's not my concern. I will say his names to the day I die. Patrice O'Neal, one of the greatest comedians of all time. Him and Dave Chappelle, if there was a, list, Dave's 1, Patrice is 1A. He's on that ass. And Patrice said, look, man, comedy, everybody ain't supposed to like you. If you're a comedian where everybody loves you, you're doing something wrong. You're supposed to make people think. You're supposed to make people feel slightly uncomfortable. Again, I'm not saying that's my driving force, but my style of funny, the guys who I studied and came up with in the era I came up in, I was born in 75. I'm an 80s baby. Of course, Richard Pryor was my introduction, but Richard was not my era. Eddie was my era.
Eddie Murphy, yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
Mine too.
And then the explosion of Def Jam. Chris Rock, Bill Bellamy, Chris Tucker, Eddie Griffin. I come from that school. So, we go hard in the paint. This moist era of denim spandex and pants so tight, I could see your thigh muscles, and sensitivity and political correctness. Thank God I didn't come up in that, because I think it's ruining comedy. And I'm halfway hoping that with this coronavirus having everybody quarantined for this long, when we get back to comedy, it's the 80s boom again, because we've gotten a chance to miss it. We've gotten a chance to go, damn, I forgot how great this cocaine is uncut. I want to go back to that.
Well, right, because Eddie Murphy is supposed to do a stand-up on Netflix.
Yeah.
And Eddie was one of my all-time favorites, if not my all-time favorite.
Right.
I think that Raw and Delirious were the best stand-ups I've ever seen. But I'll be honest, that SNL appearance that he did...
Stop right there, Vlad. Let me take over. I already know where you're going, because we discussed it on my podcast.
Okay.
I didn't see it right away because I was working.
Yeah.
Then I sent out a post and I said, all right, y'all, what's the verdict? How was Eddie Murphy on SNL? And every comment was fire, fire.
Yeah.
It felt like he never left. It was fire. Then I saw it and I went, and before I say what I'm going to say, this is where I say I have to be careful about what I say. Because people take what I say and they run with it like a reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the nigga said, he hater, he bitter, he angry. Calm down and listen to what I'm saying. I watched it and I thought, it wasn't great, it was nostalgic.
Yes, and I'll tell you that. It was great to see Gumby. It was great to see Buckwheat. It was great to see...
It felt good because you went...
It was great.
Oh, he did all the old characters.
It was great to see Mr. Robinson.
Uh-huh.
It was great to see the, in the original costumes.
Oh, it's hugs, he's home.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
But was it funny?
Let me take over. Let me take over. And here's what I'm saying. And I'm an Eddie Murphy groupie.
Yes,
I love me some
too.
Eddie Murphy,
Me too.
goddammit. But it's Eddie Murphy, which is to say it's Michael Jordan. We expected to see the thunder.
Yes.
And he didn't bring the thunder. He
There
brought
you
up,
go.
he did a lot of shit that you went, oh shit, I remember that. It's nostalgic.
Yeah.
That feels good. It's like a pair of cozy socks. I forgot how good these motherfuckers feel.
Right.
But let's be honest. The buckwheat is all right. The Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, I got the edge of what they were trying to do with the gentrification.
Yeah.
But that's an old formula.
Yes.
Mad TV's done it. In Living Color's done it. Saturday Night Live does it. Well, what they do is they go, let's take an old show and make it current. I Love Lucy 99.
Yeah.
The Honeymooners 2002. So Mr. Rogers was basically that today. It's an old formula. The thing where he played, I didn't get at all, was him talking about being a Santa's helper. And he kept referring to, like it was a news report, something happened, and he was the black guy on the news going, I seen it. Let me tell you what happened. There were too many things I looked at and just went, I'm supposed to laugh.
Right.
I'm supposed to.
Right. That's
and my
exactly,
whole thing, right. And my whole thing was
felt.
this. My whole thing was this. When you think Eddie, what you were expecting was Dave Chappelle, Nigger Family. N-I-G-G-A-R. It's the Nigger Family. That sketch was edgy. That sketch was, can you believe dude, did you see it last night?
Yeah.
Yo, Chappelle.
Yeah.
You wanted that with Eddie.
Yeah. The black white supremacist.
The black white supremacist.
Clayton Bigsby.
Clayton Bigsby. Dave gave you that was uncut cocaine, nigga.
Yeah.
Eddie gave you.
Come on. We still talk about Rick James right now.
Yes.
The Charlie Murphy
Yes.
True Hollywood Story and the Prince.
Yes.
One like we still talk about to this day. When was the last time you heard someone mention the Eddie Murphy skits from Saturday Night Live that recently aired? Nobody.
And here's the thing. This is the bullshit we have been trained to do now because of sensitivity. You can't say that. I know you feel what I feel. I know we agree, but you can't. That's Eddie Murphy. He's an icon, a legend. You can't say that. Why the fuck not? Is it the truth? I'm telling you, Eddie's an icon. He's a legend. I would slap one of my kids to work with this nigga. Love it. But I'm going, okay, you Eddie. We're going to hold you to Eddie's standard, nigga.
Yep.
That wasn't it. Dave Chappelle set the bar.
Yeah.
The Nigger Family, the shit you named. What? And here's why I feel robbed. What would Eddie have done if he went that way? If he went balls out? If he went fucking give me the ball, isolation, move out? He didn't do that.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I remember I used to interview Charlie Murphy
Right.
way back in the day, and we were talking about Eddie in this interview. I'd lost the footage since then, so there's no cutback. But I remember I said, "When did you know that the Charlie Murphy True Hollywood Stories was going to blow?" He said, "Well, after we filmed it, me and Dave went over to Eddie's house and we played it for him. And Eddie looked at it and said, brilliant. And we knew right then and there that it was going to be the biggest thing ever."
Right.
And Eddie was actually supposed to do the next season of the Chappelle Show.
Really?
He was going to be in the
that
next
would've been
episode of
great.
Charlie's True Hollywood Stories. But then the show got canceled.
Right.
Well, because...
And listen, at the end of the day, that might have been Eddie's call. Maybe Eddie went, you know what? I don't want to go edgy. Let me play it.
Let me just do
That might
nostalgia.
have just been, Eddie's what, like 50-something now?
Yeah.
Like almost 60. Eddie might have just been like, man, I'm in a different space, different place. I just don't want to do it. And I know they'd rather have something from him than nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, as a fan and as a diehard Murphy guy, I just expected, and they built it up that way.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that.
Yeah. And I remember when I tweeted about it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Like when I tweeted about, like everyone's like, well, that's because you're white and it's not for you anyways. You don't understand. Blah. And I'm like, I watched this shit like when it was airing originally. I'm that old.
Right.
Like I remember how big of an impact this held.
James Brown Celebrity Hot Tub, nigga?
I know,
That's
right?
a classic.
Classic. He carried SNL on his back.
And here's the thing. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
With the Velvet Jones.
Yeah.
Now, back in the 80s, I Want to Be a Hoe.
Yeah.
That was provocative.
2019. Yeah, it just doesn't.
When you got Dave Chappelle going, N-I-G-G-E-R, it's the nigger. You niggas don't pay your bills. See ya, niggas. I want to be a hoe.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. Well, you know, in our previous interviews.
I want to ask you something, because
Okay,
you hit on it.
Go ahead.
I know you get a lot of hate, man.
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot of the comments. Yo,
Yeah.
Vlad always cutting the interviewers off. Yo, why he always make it about him? Why the fuck, when it come to rappers, he think he know? How do you deal with all that? How do you assess that?
It's VladTV, motherfucker. It's my shit.
All right, there you
Deal
go.
with it. Go watch something else if you don't like it.
Now, you just brought me to my next fucking point. Here's something I want to dispel with the black community, particularly black comedians. Aries talk all this pro-black shit, but he don't let niggas open for him. Well, put the brakes on. Here's the thing. I used to have a black dude who would open for me. His name was Gerard Guillory out of Atlanta. Gerard was my man, 50 grand. I never had a problem with black dudes opening for me, but here's my thing. Because of Mad TV, because my audience is predominantly mixed, unless I do a club like Baltimore Comedy Factory, which is predominantly black, Chuckles in Memphis, predominantly black. There are some clubs that are just predominantly black. But for the most part, my audience is very mixed. I don't as much anymore, but once upon a time ago, I used to talk a lot about racial shit in my stand-up. So if I know I'm coming out doing 30 minutes of race, and the guy before me comes out and does his whole set on race, you have almost an hour of straight race humor. And I don't give a fuck how good something is. It's too much. It's too much. And I didn't want to beat my audience over the head with too much of the same thing. So I said, you know what? Let me break it up and, have a white dude come out, do 20 minutes. That way I know we're not going to touch on the same shit. We're not going to have the same vibe. Now, again, I'm not opposed to a black dude opening for me. I just want to make sure we're not colliding. If I can pre-see your material and I go, okay, we vibe, we good. We good. If I don't feel we connect or it's gonna be a problem, well then yeah. That's why I do that. So this whole notion that I don't like my people, man, suck my dick. I go out of my way to help niggas sometimes best I can. And above all else, I'm gonna quote my man Vlad. It's my shit. I've been doing this 30 years. I've earned my goddamn stripes. I don't have to answer to nobody. And a lot of you niggas that say that, guess what? You're not features. You're damn sure not headliners. You don't even get out of your city locally. I've been doing this 30 years. I've been on Conan O'Brien 7 times. 11 years Mad TV. A year with Damon Wayans on Showtime. Movie Jerry Maguire. Movie with LL. Movie with John Leguizamo. Shaq's All-Star Comedy Jam. I've been around. I feel like Al Pacino. I've been around, I've been around. I've earned my fucking stripes. You niggas earn your stripes and you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I do what I want to do. I've earned mine. I don't have to answer to you cocksuckers.
Well, you mentioned the 3 comedians that you wouldn't want to follow on stage.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
Patrice O'Neal.
Yes.
And Tommy Davidson.
Yes.
You made a comment. You said Patrice O'Neal was gone too soon and Carrot Top is still working.
I was being funny, but no disrespect to Carrot Top. Listen, man, comedy's subjective. All right? And your job, our job, number one, is to make you laugh. How you do it, your style, that's on you. But because it's subjective, there is no fact here. You can't go, so-and-so is funnier than so-and-so. It's your opinion.
Yeah.
Someone else might think otherwise. So when I said that, that was more of a roast joke.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But no, Patrice, he was a god, man.
Yeah. And, it seems like when we did some of our early interviews, I remember you made a comment about how initially Dave Chappelle came up through a white audience.
Yeah.
Right? But it seems like when I was listening to a lot of your recent interviews, you really put him in very high regard.
You have to.
Yeah. Because let me tell you, that first Netflix special he did, like the first 2 he did,
right.
But these last 2 that he did,
Stones,
he killed
I'm
it.
going to tell you, my favorite 2, Equanimity and Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, I like Sticks and Stones.
Like, dude, there's levels to this. And Dave, as a thinker, you know how hard it is to tackle certain subjects? It's ridiculous. And it seems like there's nothing. If you put an apple on a table and went, Dave, make that funny, I think you can make it funny. His ability, like, you really see the difference between him and everybody else.
I agree. When he did the whole Michael Jackson thing, it's like, I don't believe them motherfuckers. Like,
right.
He really went against everybody.
Yes.
He said, screw what y'all talking about.
Right.
I don't give a shit. This is what I think.
Listen, and you know, as vain as this may be, I know I'm not on Dave's level. I know I'm not on Patrice's level. But I have moments where I think I touch that kind of shit, brilliance. But I got so much work ahead of me. I got to dig deeper. I got to stop being lazy. I got to get my ass in the comedy clubs. You know, but yeah, those are the guys I strive to be. I put it in rap terms. Sometimes, you know, rappers come out back when CDs was around. Motherfucker have 20 tracks on a CD. You'd be lucky if half is fire. You know, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of them, Nas, Jay-Z, Jadakiss, 18 out of 20, blazing. A lot of dudes, when they come out for stand-up, from hey, hello, to good night, everything in between, there's moments.
Mm-hmm.
Might have a good pocket of strong, but the rest, yeah. I'm trying to, from hello to good night, no breathing room. No breathing room. Dave, Patrice, Bill Burr, no breathing room. That's yeah.
Well, you had a post on your Instagram, and it had a picture of Nas and Lil Nas X. It said Nas from my generation versus Nas from your generation. Yeah. And actually, what's interesting is that Nas
worked with him, right?
He did. He was on the remix for Rodeo.
Yeah.
So you had Big Nas and Lil Nas.
Hey man, smart business. The old school niggas, they know they ain't it no more. And I don't want to say that like it's an insult, but you know, times change. And it's smart business to not put yourself out of business. So if that's what the young kids like, hop on for the ride, nigga. Lend your contribution and get paid. You know, one of my favorite lyrics was by, I think it was Fat Joe, back when it seemed like the South had taken over rap. And a lot of East Coast niggas was upset about it. Shitting on the South. Man, the South. And I think Fat Joe said, what y'all so mad at the South for? Switch up your stance, nigga. Switch to Southpaw.
Yeah.
It's just smart business. You know what I mean? Whether or not you'll do it, because, you know, some cats might go, hey, that's just not me. I ain't going there. Or you know, some cats go, hey, man, if that's what the trend is and that's what's hot,
yeah, I
got to pay my bills. I got to eat.
Yeah,
so I'm doing that.
Every successful person is evolved.
Right.
No one is doing exactly what they did when they first started.
Right.
Dr. Dre did not become a billionaire from making beats.
Right.
No matter how good he was as a beat maker.
Right.
He made his money through headphones.
Right. Which is beats.
Right. By Dre.
Right.
But I'm just saying, Jay-Z did not become a billionaire by rapping.
Yeah.
It was a centerpiece.
Yes.
But really a lot of it is liquor money. Same thing with Puffy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta know how to see opportunity and use your position to pivot.
Right.
And Nas has done a great job of it as well.
Nasir Jones.
Nasir Jones has done a great job opening different businesses. He has Queensbridge Investments.
Listen,
and so
man,
forth.
I'm starting to get heavily into real estate and, you know, dividends and stocks and, you know, because
I run Vlad Stocks. It's a whole stock page.
Okay, yeah,
check it out.
you know, it'd be nice if what your passion is what gets you there.
Yeah.
But this business is such, you can't put all your eggs in that basket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just
yeah, because right now, coronavirus,
right.
no touring,
right.
no movies,
right.
No TV
nothing.
shows,
right.
Yeah. Well, since last time the whole Paul Mooney, Richard Pryor's son thing came out, were you shocked when you heard that, or did you hear something about that?
You know,
I was shocked. Let me tell you, I never heard that shit.
I'm
before.
reserved for my opinion only because, like when you alluded to the Michael Jackson porn thing, anybody know Paul Mooney bisexual? But is bisexual the same as fucking with a kid?
That's pedophile.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
One has nothing to do with the other. So I don't want to try to link the two. But, you know, it's hard because I wish Richard was here to say something. And depending on what Richard would say, I'd go, oh, okay. But because Richard ain't here, it all feels like hearsay. You know?
Yeah. No, I feel you. We were actually supposed to do an interview with Paul Mooney. He emailed me, said he loved my Lunel interviews, and we were supposed to do it, and then this shit happened. And then
well, nigga, I'm here now, nigga. Ask your goddamn questions, nigga.
You and the impressions.
Yes.
I actually looked on your Wikipedia page today.
It's inaccurate.
There's a list of celebrity impressions that's like 100 people.
Yeah, no, that's so inaccurate.
Okay, so you can't do all these.
No.
Who would you say is a better impressionist? If you could be honest. You or Godfrey?
Why you doing that, Vlad?
Because I thought Godfrey, at the time that I interviewed him, the first time, I said, yo, this is the greatest impressionist I've ever seen. And I've seen you do impressions, but he does it a lot. I feel like you just touch on it here and there.
Because I'm a veteran, nigga. I've been around a long time. I done pulled them. I done played them cards.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the Michael Jordan answer. It's different eras. Even though it's not, but it's.
You guys are about the same age.
Yeah, I know, but you can't say who's better because at the end of the day, we all do. Listen, we all do some of the same, and you might be able to say so and so is better than at that than so and so, but we also do ones that we can't do.
Okay.
For instance, and I actually had this conversation with Godfrey the other day. I said, dog, and he even said it to me. Your Paul Mooney is better than my Paul Mooney.
You know, Paul Mooney like, oh, whatever. I never did it. Fuck you niggas. You just sad because your son is not funny. Fuck him. He thinks I never did it. you know, Paul Mooney. He'd be like this. Oh, please, I never did it. Yeah, Richard Pryor was too goddamn high to even notice anything.
But I can't do Steve Harvey, dude. And his Steve Harvey
it's on point.
is bananas.
Yeah.
What your ass say? Your ass, your ass, what the hell? I'm old school, y'all. I don't know what the hell he was saying, but this here, So I started doing this whole Steve Harvey shit. What? He said, whoa! y'all crazy, man. I did the whole.
There's also the look.
Yeah, he's like, what your ass say? See, I'm not trying to embarrass your ass, but that's why that other family gonna win, and you're never gonna win. When the hell? That's why you gotta go to school, y'all.
His Richard Pryor, bananas.
I want that motherfucker dead, goddamn it, shit. He fucked my son in the ass. Oh shit, goddamn, get that motherfucker now, Jack. He fucked my son, man. Shit, goddamn. Why in the fuck, you ever see a motherfucker fuck your son in the ass and don't say shit? Cause my son's ass was leaking. I said, nigga, what's wrong with your ass? He said, Daddy, nothing wrong, man. Someone fucking my son in the ass, man. Goddamn. I want that nigga dead. Shit.
His Obama.
I'm getting tired of this guy. I mean, he's just trying to make me look stupid. You know, I mean, he's got to be the dumbest dude in the world. That's town hall Obama.
So he does people I flat out can't do.
Okay, what about Bill Cosby? Both you guys do Bill Cosby.
Don't put it in my booty. Don't. Did you say Rudy? No, in my booty. Please don't. I got 2 more years. Don't put it in my booty. Ooh.
Can I hear your Bill Cosby?
God, you know the thing I tell Rudy? I talked to the Theo and I talked to Claire and the Rudy. And the thing is, you've got to concentrate on what's important. Because people, if they don't know what is important, then all kinds of rumors and things and speculation. So
I'm gonna have to give that one to you.
okay.
You know, another one that I think you do better than him
Yes.
is Shaq.
Oh, I think I'm the king of Shaq, nigga.
Can we see it?
You know, okay. And I wanna give a shout out if I could now, because I'm almost like a alcoholic that is going through the steps of recovery. And one of the steps is make amends to all the people you have wronged. And I actually made a phone call to both Afion and Jay Farrow. Shout out to Afion, shout out to Jay Farrow, two of the best in the impressions game as well. Because again, man, I started comedy when I was 14. I've been doing this 30 years. So there was a point in time when, nigga, my chest was out and I was cocky as a motherfucker. And I may have said some things in interviews in regards to some of these guys where I didn't shit on them, but I didn't uplift them either. I didn't give credit where credit was due. So that being said, again, and I'm gonna tell you about this new dude too, who people need to know about. But anyway, Shaq. You know, when I dominate the league, everybody know I dominate. In order for me to dominate, I gotta get the ball. If I get my ball, I gotta get 28-10. As long as I get 28-10, then I'm gonna dominate. Everybody know I back him down the post. I got the quick hook move, footwork is tight, but Kobe know you gotta pass me the ball. When Shaq says 28-10, that's an important keynote. 28-10. When you say 28-10, I'll dominate 28-10. And I'm, you know, watching Shaq on Inside the NBA with Charles Barkley. I just pick up on those little things. There's a brother out of, and I just recently, I don't know if you saw it, we did the thing on Instagram.
Yeah, with the
Split screen.
IG Live, yeah, I saw it.
My man, C King. Yo, y'all, C King. IAM _ C King on Instagram. When I tell you this nigga's Denzel Washington, and I even said on the video, not counting C King, me, Godfrey, Dean Edwards, Reggie Reg, and who am I forgetting? Me, Jay Farrow. We all do Denzel, and we all do it well in our own way. C King puts us all to bed. This nigga is the nuclear bomb that levels the country. When I tell you his Denzel, man, like and I said to him on a thing, I was like, you know, Denzel says certain words. Like we all say, sure, sure. All right, sure, sure. He's got Denzel's inflections. It's scary. C King's a monster.
I'm gonna check him out.
Check him out, man.
Check him out. Well, the Corey Holcomb incident.
Oh, we rehashing this?
Well, let me ask you a question. Since
Yes.
last time when I asked, is there a lawsuit, you said I can't talk about it.
Right.
Now 2 years has passed.
Right.
Is there still a lawsuit?
No, there isn't.
So that's it.
That's it.
You did file a lawsuit initially.
Yes.
But then you dropped it or it got dropped?
You know, the justice system protects the criminals. So that's how that works.
Okay.
Listen, and I really want to put this to bed. Scroll down, comments, Gooey Raccoon, 5150 Nation, yay. I'm gonna address these niggas in a minute. Somebody recently asked me, is Corey Holcomb still in your top 5? Because you said your top 5 comedians, Patrice, Dave, Tommy, Bill Burr, and once upon a time ago I said Corey Holcomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. It don't change who he is as a comic. Corey's an incredible motherfucker. That boy's talented. I love Corey Holcomb, comedically. Now, because of what we went through, personally, we don't have that relationship anymore. And who's to say? Who knows? If there's a way down the line to make it right, I'm open. You know, I'd like to think two talented brothers could be mature enough that at some point we put the past behind us. But it don't change who I think he is as a comedian. That would be petty and vaginal. He's a bad motherfucker, man. And I think what fuels it on more than anyone are these group of fucking beehives for him. The 5150 Nation gang. Like, they're the only ones that hit me up on Instagram and keep perpetuating that shit. Hey, nigga, that Zoe through them blows. Don't make me call Zoe Williams 5150. You niggas stay licking Corey taint. You niggas are grown-ass fucking men. Develop a life. Niggas that's making money and in the 50% tax bracket don't go around cheerleading with another nigga dick in their mouth that hard. 5150 Nation, yay! You niggas is fucking cornballs, man. Like, y'all grown fucking men. Really? Y'all want to keep perpetuating that shit? Grow the fuck up.
Well, I was watching one of your interviews, and I think what it kind of got to me was when I guess you were up for some sort of Netflix special, or there was a conversation with you about Netflix.
Right.
You had heard that some of the execs referred to that situation and said, yeah, you deserved it.
Yeah, and they laughed. Yeah. Listen, man, I've said this in multiple interviews. I know I'm not the most liked person in the world. Again, I don't know it as a fact, but my hunch tells me I'm blackballed. But at the same time, I'm going, I won't say 100% because I have done some things. I did something with Netflix on a show called Gentrified, but produced and directed by America Ferrara, AKA Ugly Betty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still do the voice of Wizard Kelly on Proud Family.
Oh, really?
During the,
Okay.
you know, since it's been brought back.
Dope.
You know, for the second time, I hosted the AVN Awards, which will air on Showtime in April. I got a movie coming out called 420 on April 17th.
You play a cop.
Yes, I play a cop. So I'm still doing shit.
Right, you're still booked all the time.
I'm still booked. I'm still touring all year long. I just know I'm not on the favorites list. And listen, is there a way to turn that around? I'm sure there is in time. And who knows? But again, my thing is this. I've always spoken honestly and candidly about what I feel and what I think. And I'm in a business where the moisture is so strong that a lot of people don't like and can't handle that. Have I always said the right thing? No. Should I have shut the fuck up a couple of times? Yeah. One of my biggest regrets, dude, and I'm telling you, Jordan Peele. Me saying what I said about Key and Peele, I know that's affected me.
On VladTV.
On VladTV. I know that bit me in the ass. Look, I work with them on Mad.
Mm-hmm.
Good guys. Mm-hmm. Good heart. Good guys. Give you the shirt off their back. Is it ironic? Is it a coincidence that they both, most of their friends are white and got white wives? They like white women? I mean,
I don't know him like that.
I'm just saying, and I'm trying to be careful here because I don't want this to come off the wrong way, even though it probably already has. If you hang around them, their new movie, they got a new movie coming out, and it's genius what they're doing.
Keanu.
They playing that up. They playing up two black dudes who are black, but are so white internally that they're uncomfortable in that black surrounding. And it's a brilliant move because they're really like that. That's what I'm saying. If they walked into a room full of niggas, real niggas would go, something don't smell right. And you know, I've tried to reach out to Jordan and make amends. And if he ever calls me back or doesn't call me back, I gotta live with that.
Well, look, what's his name? Russell Simmons in our interview said the same thing about Jordan Peele.
Yeah, but Russell Simmons is Russell Simmons.
I like Key and Peele a lot. I always diss them. I want to take it back because I feel very bad about what I've said about them. They're very funny. They're very funny. But niggas didn't choose them. Black people didn't choose them. Black people chose Tony Robbins. Black people chose, 100 comedians before he chose them. And I'm not knocking them, and I think it's great, and it's okay to have accessible comedians. But all of the cool, edgy, fun things and people and cultural elements that are not included. Like, see, music, when I put Ain't No Nigga on the Nutty Professor soundtrack, everybody's like, what? Because I was black, I picked Ain't No Nigga, and I put it on there, Jay-Z, first record. I put that on the Nutty Professor soundtrack because I produced the movie.
Right.
But it was the record. See, records can go no matter what you think. But choosing an artist, you reaching around the core of black comedy to pick who you want to pick?
Yeah, and in fact, I ran into Jordan Peele at an airport, and we talked about that. He goes, yeah, man, I don't know why this dude hates on me. And he's talking about Russell.
Right.
This was before our interview, I think.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, man, I like him. I don't know why. And then, boom, he blew up afterwards. I mean, because
Right.
Get Out put him on a whole different platform. No one saw that coming.
When Steven Spielberg is complimenting your movie for a CNN movie documentary, nigga, you're in a different zip code.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess you were up for a role in The Last OG that he was executive producing, which actually Lord Jamar now has a role.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the role went to Cedric, and I said, look, man, I understand. Cedric's
He
the
kills
bigger
that
name.
role. Yeah, matter of
Cedric's
fact, because I've watched both seasons, and
Yeah.
Cedric really nailed that role.
Hey, Cedric's a phenomenal talent.
There was a story. No. Hold on. No, it's not that. It's not The Last OG. It was the Kevin Hart animated.
Yeah. This was the first time I hosted the AVN Awards, and we went to the pre-party somewhere in LA, and my manager and agent showed up, and I don't know if it's still in production. Cartoons take a long time, but Kevin Hart had a cartoon, or still has a cartoon coming out, which is based on his childhood, and I auditioned for the role of the father. I had the father. Yeah, man, let me tell you something, boy. Man, them niggas, let me tell you something, boy. I talk like that, for the cartoon character. And word got back to me that everybody wanted me. Kevin Hart himself wanted me to play the part. But then the head executive at Fox was like, no, not that guy. Dear God, not that guy. So again, I'm not taking, I'm not gonna denounce responsibility for anything that I've done. But again, I know that a lot of what I've said wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
It just might have been wrong to say it.
The way I look at it is this. DJ Vlad has never gotten on any radio stations, even though I've tried to talk to every program director and so forth when I was DJing. VladTV, although we've had lots of talks with pretty much every network, has never gotten a TV show. And honestly, I don't give a shit. Because I learned a long time ago, I'm not going to wait around for someone else to give me a job. That's why I created my own entity. I own my own content. And by 2020, I'm more successful than most of the people that denied me. So,
well, yeah.
So, and I own my own content that they still do not. So, during this downturn, when they're wondering if they have a job or not, my content is still paying me every day. So,
I gotta really, and I'm not trying to be sappy here, but I gotta really thank my fans, man.
Yeah.
And the people that really hardcore love comedy, because here's the thing, I haven't been in a major movie, since Jerry Maguire.
And that was what year?
That was 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been on television consistently since Mad TV. Now, that's almost over 10 years. I'm still working on trying to put a third special together, but no one's breaking down my door to give me one. So I have to figure out that lane.
Mm-hmm.
My point is this, I still am able to go out on the road, work an entire year, and people come out and see me. Some shows sold out, all the shows. Certain other shows, not so much. But the fact is, there's still a demand for me. And I'm not sitting here beating my chest going, because I'm just so great. No, but I think people realize from what they've seen, be it in interviews, some of my body of work, they go, I like this nigga. Legitimately funny, is real, is raw, doesn't sell out, ain't sold his integrity. People can sense I'm coming from an honest place. Sometimes I might reveal too much and be like, damn, nigga, you ain't got to say that. But I think people respect that. And I think that if I didn't have that respect, then, for all the motherfuckers that have, I love it. I posted this too. The favorite thing for people to go to when they attack celebrity, you're washed up. Nigga, you washed.
Yeah.
And I set out a post and I went, guys, you got to stop saying that. It's not an insult. You guys are a lot of y'all are minimum wages.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's like telling a toddler, telling Mike Tyson, nigga, you can't punch. Like, you tickle me with that. Like I'm in the 50% tax bracket. I work all year long. I've been to Jamaica. I go to fucking England. I've been to Africa twice. I've gone to Dubai. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not washed up. That's far from it. Say something else. Talk about the dark marks under my eyes. Call me fat. Do all the normal shit y'all do. But washed up is ridiculous.
Right.
That's like, not to cut you off, it's almost like, the people that follow me on Instagram, they get mad at me because I won't just shut up and tell jokes. They get mad at me when I go political. They get mad at me when I have an opinion outside of yuck-yucks and making them laugh. I ain't following you no more. You ain't funny.
Yeah.
You sound like a girl whose boyfriend dumped her, and now his dick is little, but you've been fucking him for 15 years. All of a sudden, he can't fuck? Come on, man.
Yeah, calling someone a has-been when you're a never-been.
Come on. And it's like you niggas work in cubicles. You're 9-to-5ers. Like you don't pursue your dreams. The idea of telling somebody who has been around the world, who has 2 commas on their yearly income, and who fucking, who lives their dream is insane. That's insane. You've never left your block. You've never left your city. What's your passport look like, nigga?
Well, we're almost done here. I just want to mention one thing. Since our last interview, John Witherspoon passed away.
The great.
We did one of his last interviews. What we basically got is his life story.
Yeah.
Which we got to capture before he passed, which I think was very important.
Right.
I'm such a huge fan.
And he talk about a veteran.
Oh, yeah.
Since good times.
Oh, yeah.
Working.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he's incredible.
Yeah.
And, he just kind of broke down. We went through all the movies, and he kind of described how he just ad-libs everything. The directors hate him, but then when they see the final product, they have to keep it.
Man, no matter what movie you're in, you consistently steal the movie.
Well, they let me ad-lib.
Right.
So that's my thing. I can create jokes right on the spot.
Right. So you're like, fuck
funny
this,
lines.
You're like, fuck this script. We're going to do it this way.
I can do it this way. I've done many of them like it too.
Do directors ever try to argue with you about that?
Oh yeah. When I was on Tracy Morgan show, they said, "Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, you got to stick to the script." I said, "Man, this stuff ain't funny. We're supposed to be funny. It's a comedy, isn't it?" They said, "Well, sir, you got to stick to the script." I said, "We're gonna be canceled real quick." And we got canceled about 18 shows in. We got canceled.
There you have
all that money I missed.
And it's just, from Boomerang to Friday to Vampire in Brooklyn to so many classic moments. You were actually in the Boondocks as well, right? You had a role?
I did a couple episodes. Not a regular role. I did some guest episodes.
I had an episode in the Boondocks. Yeah, I played myself.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah, when Thugnificent came on the radio to beef with Sergeant Gutter.
Right.
It was actually at VladTV.
Okay.
And I was playing myself, had VladTV in the background. My favorite show at that time on television. Do you think they could do a Boondocks reboot without John Witherspoon?
Yeah, but it depends. Do they want to go with a character that's like him, but obviously not him?
Yeah.
Or do they want to go with the same character and find somebody who does a great impression of him?
Yeah, no. I can't see that working.
Because I will say, I can't remember the dude's name, but I saw a dude online. Couldn't tell the difference.
Really?
I mean, he had John Witherspoon down.
Well, Faison Love, I never realized until I interviewed him. He actually, when they did Bebe's Kids,
right?
He's the one that voiced, what's the comedian's name?
Oh, Robin Harris.
Robin Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that.
So, hey, Faison, I'm so sorry I'm forgetting her name. She's a beautiful lady. So can you do Robin for us? Hey, motherfucker, who are they? Black motherfuckers? Look at him. And it's, but now can you do him just talking regular? Like every day, I was like, I was talking regular. But this is just like conversation, regular conversation. I said, let me see. Then I said, okay, you black ass kids, get in the car. So that's how it came about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could happen. It could happen. You never know. You see
at the end of it, but here's the thing, and let's go back to impressions for a second. This is something else that me and Godfrey talked about. And I'm certainly not going to say no names, but I'll say this. There are some guys who do great impressions, but they don't know how to make it funny. And then there are some guys who know how to make an impression funny, but they don't do the impression well.
Yeah.
It's very hard and takes a real level of skill and talent to marry the two. That's what made Eddie Murphy so great. Eddie knew how to do a killer impression, but throw some funny in that motherfucker to where you went, wow, it's not just the impression. Listen to what he's saying.
Yeah, like his Mr. T impressions.
Yes.
During, I think both.
Delirious,
yeah.
Yeah. Norton, how would you like to fuck me up the ass? Hamada. Whoa. Eddie Murphy with the honeymooners. And Godfrey's one of those guys. He can take an impression, and the impression is dead on, but he also infuses the funny, and it's the perfect marriage. I'd like to say that I think I'm one of those guys.
I agree.
And not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I think that people were so blown away by when I did the rap impressions, rapping, which at one point was at 14 million views, was it wasn't just the impression. What I was actually spitting. You go, yo, Big would say that. Jay-Z would say that. One of my favorite clips is with Jamie Foxx, where he imitates Prince, Luther Vandross, and Babyface singing the Brady Bunch theme. Man, that's incredible. The fact that he can play the piano, he can really sing, he's doing the impression, and at one point as Luther, he goes, Brady Bunch, I said, like he had the, I had, the way Luther would do it. Man, that's genius, dude. That's genius.
I feel you, man. Jamie's one of the all-time greats as well. Aries Spears, I'm glad we got to do it again 2 years later.
Yeah.
Hopefully another 2 years won't pass until our next one. Make sure you check out the Spears and Steinberg podcast.
Can I say it?
You can say it.
The Spears and Steinberg podcast, a.k.a. The Jew and the Jerk. Available through iTunes, Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, Spearsberg.com, or just DM me on my Twitter, Aries, under Instagram. I'm not on Twitter, I got banned. Instagram under Aries Spears. I'll send you the link.
And there will be a link under all these videos also, so you can click on it.
Yes, sir.
Until next time, peace.
51 Nation, nigga.